time. Let's just go live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lore Reloaded. On the bright side, I guess you guys didn't hear what just happened. That was good. I want to welcome everybody. I'm glad you can be here. Today we're going to be doing Star Trek Adventures. We're still setting some stuff up, so you may see things on the screen move around or get all fancy at some point. Today we will be doing the pen and paper Star Trek Adventures from Modiphius. I have three of the most wonderful lads here with me. I have Fancy Teeth, Venom Geek, and Cute Fuzzy Weasel. So we will have Fancy Teeth. How you guys doing? Let's all talk at once and see what happens. I think that's gonna be a great way to do this.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Hey,
yeah.
How's it going?
So so this is gonna be like we've done before with all the other seasons, where we're just gonna have fun with it. You guys will have the ability to either impact or be a part of what we'll be doing today. So if you look at the pinned post, you can see how you can impact it. Also, you are more than welcome to give them ideas. They're in the chat as well, and they might use them, they might not. Anyone who stays and talks, eventually you will see your name come as a part of the game. So yeah. You guys ready? We ready to get started?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Is there any famous words y'all need to say anything? Or you already said hi, so don't really need to do anything else, I don't imagine, right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, well, good. That was weird. That was weird.
Oh, I
All
thought
right.
about going on.
You know, I believe you. All right, so we'll go ahead and get it with the prologue. Just let me know. Oh, maybe put it in chat, right? Oh, you know. Just let me know in chat when things get settled, Weasel. All right, so the prologue. The Klingon Federation War that had pitted the United Federation of Planets and the Bajoran Republic against the Klingon Empire was devastating and left both governments weakened, with many strategists believing that a war with the Dominion and a Federation-Klingon alliance would now result in a loss thanks to the all-conquering Dominion. The Klingon War, along with the incoming Dominion threat, would shake up Starfleet Command. New initiatives, new vessels, and new organizations would be formed. Of the many institutions created, Battalion 745-A within Starfleet Security was formed. This battalion pulled from Federation and non-Federation planets alike and encompassed the best of the best within Starfleet. Personnel, regardless of their department, would be multi-trained in dealing with unique and brutal situations that regular ships might not be ready for. Our heroes, which is our intrepid heroes right now, all three of them here, everybody completely sober, have been training hard and have now found themselves being shipped out. Assigned to the Franz Ferdinand Company, they are now their own squad aboard the USS Titanic. Wow, I can't read. No bloody A, no bloody B, no bloody C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, but it does have an L. So the USS Titanic L. This ship's port of origin is known as the Federation Starbase Costa Concordia. After arriving, they're ordered to their ship moored at the station itself. Upon arriving, our luscious, wonderful heroes are allowed to put up their bags, get into their bunks and whatnot, and then are immediately called to the conference room. So this is where you guys enter in. As you enter, you see the executive officer of the Titanic, Linja Wild, a Bajoran of dark complexion and medium height. He is seated next to a woman who is a bit more, shall we say, rotund, and she is wearing clothes that are brown and beige, the finest browns and beiges of all the worlds that you can find. So you guys are entering. I want you to give a brief description of yourself, and you know, what's going on and what you're thinking, and you know, just snazz it up. And whoever wants to go first can go first.
Someone who is not me go first.
Don't be shy.
Okay. Well, in that case, Latrem enters, and he is at once, very familiar with the Bajoran who is in the room, and also struck by the very brilliant colors as a Cation. He's into very, very vibrant colors.
Okay. What does he sit down? Does he pull his phaser?
No. He walks over to the conference table and stands next to the seat, waiting to be instructed to sit.
All right. Venom, how's your character entering?
She is going to, my character, Nithla, she is going to stride in, proudly, confidently, arrogantly, some might say. And she is going to take a seat immediately.
Okay. What does she look like? What, you may have said, but what race is she?
She's Andorian.
Okay. Is she wearing nothing? No clothes at all?
If only. No, she's wearing her security officer's uniform as is standard.
Gotcha. Jay, how about your character?
Siren is a Vulcan, and he enters the room in an engineering outfit, goes next to his chair, and stands with his hands behind his back, waiting for further instructions.
All right. So the executive officer says, "Welcome, have a seat." He motions for you guys to sit down. And then after doing so, he points, or not points, but he motions over to the woman as well. He says, "This is Margaret Brown. She's the Federation Governor of Chahala 4. He hits a couple of buttons, and all of a sudden a planet appears in front of you guys. He says, I've called you here for a really interesting mission. Chahala 4 is a Federation planet situated near the Bajoran border. It's renowned among the galaxy as..." He pauses a minute. He says, "Well, to be frank, it's considered to be the original birthplace of most all religions. It's believed that a god or gods that created the universe had their origin stories here. The planet itself is literally supposed to be where all life was created and expanded. Species from across the galaxy, including in the Federation, Klingons, Romulans, do pilgrimages to the planet itself. It's considered one of the most peaceful places in the Alpha and Beta quadrants." He waits a second and then again motions. He says, "The governor has been here for several symposiums and is now needing to return to the planet." He then taps another button. You see the USS Titanic, which is an Intrepid-class ship. I guess I'm sitting here getting on to those around me, and I haven't even told you guys what kind of ship it is. It is an Intrepid-class vessel. And flanking the Intrepid-class vessel is an Acura-class. He says the Titanic and the USS Fontaine will be escorting her back to the colony. He pauses a moment to see... Do you need me to repeat any of that, or are you good, Noah? Weasel? He pauses a moment to see if you guys have anything you want to add or any questions or anything.
There anything I can't break there?
Is there anything what?
Anything I can't break?
Is there anything you can't break
Any
there?
priceless artifacts,
Yes,
or, things I can't vandalize?
He nods his head. He says, yes, it's a religious planet that if we, for any reason, were to upset the denizens of, would cause a scandal, interquadrant, which would give the Dominion more power, as the Federation isn't exactly known for being open to other belief systems. So yes, there is a lot there that you can't break.
Right. Behave myself.
Is there any kind of existing military infrastructure in the system?
He shakes his head. He says, no, interestingly not. As I said, it's a very peaceful planet, or has been historically. And so there's been no need. It is a Federation planet. It's recognized. But because of its status and because of so many pilgrimages that go there, even with all of the differing religions, historically there's been no issues, which is kind of amazing. He looks kind of confused himself.
How many different... Oh, I apologize.
Why does one need an escort to a historically peaceful planet?
He nods his head. He says, "That's a good question. The official story is that both the Titanic and Fontaine are using this as an act of goodwill to show the Federation supports freedom of religion in all its forms. Additionally, both crews of the vessels will be granted limited shore leave for those who are of faith or just want some time off." He then looks over to the governor and nods his head to her, and she smiles weakly and hits a button, and you'll see a group of people who are starting to... They look like they're just milling around. They're in a marketplace, and they're wearing very distinct robes of green and red. And she actually begins talking. She says, "As has been stated so eloquently, the planet has always been known for the cohabitation. So many religions and pilgrims coming. We have many Klingons that will come to pay respects to Kahless, and still, generally, there's no fighting. However, recently, there's been an uptick in violence, specifically from a group known as the Voice of Purity." And as she's talking, she's saying these things, she actually seems a little bit confused by that very notion, because, again, it seems foreign to her that people would even be fighting. They're a recent group, a group of several different faiths that believe that there is only one true creation story, and that there's only one way that religion and that the rules should be done, and they've been attempting to change people's minds. It started out very peaceful, but as they have been rebuffed, there has been reported conflicts between the two. And I've requested Starfleet to look into this for the investigation. And so another brief pause.
What aspect of Klingon faith involves this planet?
She shrugs her shoulders. She says, "To be honest, I'm not a believer of KLS or anything of that nature. My understanding is that some believe that KLS was born here, and this was the original Kronos, or he was born here and made his way to what is now considered Kronos. Honestly, you'd have to talk to one of them. I'm not completely sure."
I find it strange that members of differing faiths would come together to form one unified ideal while maintaining their own individual belief systems.
She nods her head. She says, I agree. When the Federation first encountered the planet, and indeed when they applied for Federation status, that was something that was investigated largely. But once you're on the planet, you'll have a better understanding. It just... You have the feeling that everything's going to be all right, and there's just no need. Everyone coexists. It just for whatever reason it works.
And who's leading this purity faction?
She pauses a moment and she says, "It's a person by the name of, well, she goes by Didact. I'm not sure if she has a real name or not. Generally, we don't ask. Pilgrims and prophets have pseudonyms all the time. It can get confusing. We just take whatever they say. I've had a lot of discussions with Didac. She seems like a true believer of what she's saying. And until recently, she was, in fact, a very nice and open individual. I'm surprised to see all of this happening."
Do we know where Didact is now?
We do. We're not completely sure. We know that she has left the colony, her and her followers. We believe that she's in the hills, but beyond that, the colony itself doesn't have the sensors to find them. We just don't have the resources, which is one of the reasons why we've requested help from a Starfleet ship.
Will weapons and other equipment be allowed on the surface?
So she opens her mouth like she's about to say something, but is actually interrupted by the executive officer. And he says, "Well, that's kind of where you're coming in. You see, at the moment, everything that's been described to this point is actually outside of the scope of your division. We don't generally use resources like this. We would just send a regular ship and let a Starfleet crew figure it out. However, there's been one problem. He reaches over and he hits a button, the holograms change, and you see a scene, and it's actually a video or a moving hologram, whatever we want to call it. And you see several people having a picnic, and they're dressed in different robes and different attire. After a few minutes, it looks like a storm is starting to come in. The wind starts blowing. You can see them trying to keep their stuff on the ground. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Jim Hadar appear out of thin air and begin firing on the crowd. And it stops almost there as people are just scrambling and going where they are. He goes on to say, after he shows this, a dozen pilgrims were killed by Jim Hadar's soldiers, which is kind of odd. We're not sure why they may be there, but Starfleet intelligence believes this could be an attempt to destabilize the Federation and cause tensions with other governments. This planet is known to be peaceful. We've even had pilgrims from governments or planets that we've been at war with. It's been one of the exceptions that you could travel here based on religious grounds, even if you've had issues with the Federation. If at any point things destabilize and we start having to restrict access to the planet, it could cause problems with the more religious governments.
So, as the humans like to say, the other shoe has dropped. The
Sure.
Jim Hadar will not care how peaceful this planet is.
Seems unusual for the Dominion, who seem so committed these days to projecting a good image in the Alpha Quadrant.
He nods his head. He says, yeah, it's weird. We also have no indication that any Dominion ships have been around the planet or have come or gone from there. One of the reasons why the Fontaine is with us is just in case they have found some way of getting past our sensors, or perhaps are even using the cloaking devices from the Romulans or Cardassians or wherever else they may have gotten them.
Is there any evidence that we may be dealing with a breakaway sect of the Jim Hadar rather than the actual Dominion government?
Well, that's why you've been activated. I look forward to you finding that out for me.
If it is a breakaway sect, they would have had to find a way to absolve themselves of their Ketracel-white addiction.
He nods his head and he says, well, this is exactly why you've been activated. Your orders are to go down, identify the group, find the leader, Didac, see why she has decided, or if she's in league with the Jim Hadar, and based on what you find there, we'll take the next steps. Preferably, we'd like to keep the planet open, and we'd like to just remove any Dominion elements from it that aren't there for religious purposes. Any questions?
How much
If we go ahead.
How much of a security force will we be taking with us?
There'll
If
be
this Didact is in league with the Jem'Hadar, this could be a significant. This could almost be a beachhead.
Well, right now, it's just going to be the three of you. We're going to keep it to a small team. Based on your assessment, though, the resources of both the Titanic and the Fontaine are at your... he wouldn't say command, are at your availability. So, should it be necessary, we can have a full security task force down there. It is our hope not to. 3 Starfleet officers wouldn't really change a lot, wouldn't really impact how people look at it, but an entire security detail would definitely cause some questions.
If we find a hostile faction there that we believe we can handle, do we have permission to engage with the enemy?
That's a part of your division. Your division allows you to make those types of calls. But remember, you are Starfleet officers, so the preference is to not engage in combat.
Should our objective be to collect evidence that may be incriminating towards the Dominion if it does turn out that they are the ones behind this.
I'm more... He pauses a moment. He says, I'm more concerned with removing them from the planet than I am from showing any kind of diplomatic faux pas on their side. Of course, if there is any evidence and you can garner it without losing life, then definitely do so. But if we have to choose, I just want to ensure that there are no... I want to ensure this is not a beachhead.
Is it possible that perhaps the Jem'Hadar have some legitimate religious claim to this planet?
Well, if they do, then killing other religious pilgrims is not going to be something accepted by the Federation. And obviously, if they come to you having a concern, we'll be happy to listen to that. Though how they would have any kind of claim to it beyond any other pilgrim was beyond me. They weren't even aware of it until the wormhole was established.
Maybe murder's just part of their religious practices.
That
He
is possible.
chuckles. He chuckles. They're very Cardassian in that way. Any other questions? A Cardassian officer just looks up. What the hell did you just say? Anyway,
When do we leave?
we actually move out now. It'll take about 2 or 3 days for us to arrive, so get comfy, and if you have any other concerns or questions, let me know. And with that, dismissed. He nods and stands, as does the woman. And so you guys are shown out politely, of course. So it will take about 2 days to get there. And I know I pointed this out beforehand, but are any of your characters religious or not so? Being not religious in Starfleet is generally more common than it is. I don't care what the book says.
And are we going to go down the list, or like...
How many religions you have? No, it's just tell me if your character is religious or not.
It means down the list of people. No, my character's not religious.
Religious, no. Spiritual, yes.
Okay.
She is not religious and is incredibly cynical and skeptical of the whole thing.
Okay. So as you guys are as the ship is making its way towards its destination, one of the things that you do notice is that there is a heightened excitement for those few on the ship that are religious. There's in fact more ceremonies being held. People are they're excited that they're finally getting to, go somewhere that really speaks to them. So at this point, during the 2 days, is there anything you want to do, anything you want to engage with? One of the things to remember is that you're Starfleet officers, so unlike Dungeons and Dragons, when you look on the episodes, there are certain ways officers act and things they do when they engage or when they are looking into a mission or an issue.
When they engage.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey. So, is there anything you guys want to do or not really? You don't have to. Sorry, I'm trying to pull this up while I'm talking to you.
Latrem is going to be researching how this planet fits in with the regional, stellar religions. He's
Okay.
going to be looking for correlations between all different faiths and how they perceive this planet to see if there might be some connection beyond circumstantial.
Okay. Do you,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Seren will be looking into the Dominion specifically and what reasons or claims that they may have in this particular area. Oh,
Do you mind if I roll for you guys? Is there any issues?
go for it.
Is that okay, Weasel?
Out of curiosity, what kind of dice do you roll?
So
for
you
this?
roll 2d20. It's something that I'm going to be having you do in the near future. It's just...
I do
had
have
no
a
setup.
D20 here.
Do you have 2d20?
I can roll one and then roll the other. I mean, I can roll this twice.
But I mean,
I've got like 40 of them somewhere here, but it might be easier if you do it till we get the...
can I
Bingo.
see it, though? Can I trust you, Weasel? Can I trust you is the question?
You can trust me.
All right.
Well, I just want to point out that he is a weasel. So,
There's that.
I mean, that is what it is.
I object to the negative stereotype.
So for this, we're going to be using, and this is getting into the system now. For this, we're going to be using insight plus. So I use your attributes and your disciplines. Your attributes is your character. Your disciplines is the department you're in to look through this stuff. So give me your insight plus your science. We add those two together. That makes a 14. So I want you to roll it. I want you to tell me if you get how many of those dice you get below a 14. And if you roll a 20 and or a 1.
Okay, my reason. All right, so good. All right, so I will roll this d20, and I got a 13.
Okay. Roll one more
And
time.
my 12.
Okay.
And my insight is 10, and my
Science.
science is 4.
Which was 14. That's what I was saying. That's where I got the numbers from.
Gotcha.
So both of those are under 14. So you have 2 successes. It was a success. It was a difficulty 1, which means you get a momentum. Now a momentum is used by all of you guys. All of you together decide when and how you use it. You can use it for an extra roll. You can also use it for things like asking additional questions or for getting more information. So tell me one more time, what were you looking into to see its religious circumstances?
I'm looking into regional stellar religions. Basically, any pilgrim that goes there, I'm looking into their how this planet fits in with their spirituality, and especially with the Klingons, given that they're in the Beta Quadrant.
Sure.
I'm not sure where exactly this planet is, but it's probably not in the Beta Quadrant. So this is of great interest to Latren.
So it's on the Bajoran border.
Okay, so way far away
Yeah,
from
I
the
pointed.
Quadrant.
Yeah, and I mean, I may not have emphasized that enough, but yeah, that's what he was talking about. It's on the Bajoran border. The planet itself, interestingly enough, pulls from almost every religion that you can find, regardless of how hostile or not. It's not only just the Klingons, it's the Romulans, it's the Ferengi, it's the Cardassians, humans who still believe make pilgrimages here.
Whoa, what humans?
Yeah, well, yeah, all 2 of them.
Are like the Catholics like going into this planet? Like, wait,
Catholicism, it's gone, lad. Catholicism is gone. But any religious person that has arrived there through the testimonials and the different people that have gone have always talked about how peaceful the planet is, how invigorated it is for them to be there. They believe that they have reached or been able and been touched by their creator specifically, which is an interesting thing you might note. So, for instance, when Klingons go there, they feel like they're talking to Kahless, or Kahless has specifically reached out to them. Romulans, their specific deities, again, religious people with the one Catholic that still exists.
Basically, the Pope.
One other thing that's interesting that you've noticed is that a Cybok cult, you know, the cult done by Cybok himself?
Yes.
Which is very well known. That would be something officers, especially those in specialized divisions, would be aware of. There's a cult of Cybok that's still there. They believe that regardless of what happened or what was reported, that God and Cybok are still leading them.
It is very rare for a cult to end with its leader.
That's true. But yeah, again, all of it seems centralized around the planet. And so when people go there, they either become prophets or they believe that God's there, and then it just has spread.
Okay, can I do one more action?
You can. You can also use your momentum depending on what it is. Everyone has to agree to it, though.
Okay, everyone. I want to check with my science. I want to go over every scan of the planet that I have access to see if there are any kind of anomalies on its surface.
Well, I was gonna use my action to go to the holodeck and run some simulations of the planet, its geography, its infrastructure, get a look at really where we're heading.
And Latrem join him.
Yeah.
You can.
Okay, I would
A
like to
most
do
logical approach.
that. Yes.
So you guys are going to be able to assist each other. Give me one more time. What are you doing, Venom? Say it one more time.
I'm going to be going to the holodeck and getting up a simulation of the planet's surface, get a look at the geography and the topography and the environment.
All right. So I want you to give me a roll, and that roll that I want you to give me is a.
I don't have a D20 to hand.
Okay. Do you mind if I do it then?
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna give. It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be insight plus science. And let's see. Do you have your sheet with you by chance? Guys,
Yeah.
pull up your sheets if you can for me, so you have it easy. But it looks like you're in science plus your science is 11. Is that right?
Insight plus science. Yeah, that's 11.
Okay. Hold on, let me roll. So we have a 2. Ah, so close. Oh, they're both 2. That's funny. Had they been 1s, it would have been really good. Because you get double. A lot of good stuff happens. Go ahead and give me a roll of 1d20 for me, please, Weasel.
12 again. Jesus.
Nice. So, it was a difficulty 1. You guys got 3 put together, so you're going to get 2 more momentum. You find the colony is generally like any other colony that you see, like any other Federation colony itself. There are
Looks like
all-
it fits on a soundstage.
all of the conveniences. There's rubber shrubbery in the background with really white
Styrofoam rocks.
styrofoam rocks.
Beat me to it, Jay.
You also find a few different accounts in the Starfleet database, which give different explanations, which can be a little bit different from what you were exploring, Weasel. But one of the things you found was that Chahala was discovered by Terran explorers in the early part of the 21st century. The recorded place had little in terms of mineral or agricultural worth. However, upon completing a survey, a high proportion of the exploratory team claimed to have a religious experience. Many became adherents of one religion or another. It inspired others to visit, and many reports of religious experiences. Many reports of religious experiences. It began to multiply. Several different species began to make claims on the planet, and so the Federation decided to retain control but treat it as neutral territory. They'd operate a small administrative colony and allow any species to visit for the purpose of religious observance. Over the years, several theories have been offered for why the planet seems to inspire religious feeling, but a true study has been made difficult due to the many inhabitants resisting the idea of codifying what they see as a matter of faith. Meanwhile, the religious community is quick to form their own multi-denominational options or opinions. It is generally believed that the aura of the place is due to the past presence of the creator of the universe. It's said that when they had crafted the universe, they took physical form to truly see it in all its glory. Chahala is the place they chose to stand, and to this day, it remains marked by its divine, quote-unquote, footfall. Some of the stuff you've already talked, you see that it's governed by the governor that you had met. There are specific rules, so you will notice that, again, it looks like a standard colony. No one's allowed to build any place of worship to a particular denomination. Also, to avoid land claims by any particular group, specific laws and restrictions have happened. Any business may only trade in the main colony. Any form of farming or mining is prohibited, and the planet is considered a heritage site. This has led to there being only one main colony town and a series of small non-denominational shrines scattered across the planet. The main colony contains around 500 residents who work in service trades like hotels, souvenirs, and restaurants for approximately 2,000 pilgrims that visit at any time. Around 1,000 or so religious residents live outside the colony, but most prefer to visit rather than live on the barren planet itself. The right to visit or to become a resident is restricted to those with a special visa granted by the Federation. They keep numbers low to maintain the peace, but there is constant pressure to increase the amount of visas each year.
A quick question, just to reiterate. Were there any inhabitants of the planet beforehand?
Not that you can find.
And did the planet fall within anyone's territory before it was mapped by these miners?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Did the planet fall within anyone's territory before it was surveyed?
Technically, it's always been a part of the Federation. The Cardassians never pushed that far out, and the Bajorans didn't get a chance. So it was by itself until the Federation overtook it. And since then, again, they've set it up as a planet and a colony itself. The denizens, as stated, pushed to ensure that it would have the protections of the Federation, but it's a neutral ground.
So the miners never found anything there? Any ruins, any relics, anything that might suggest a previous civilization?
From what you're seeing in the holodeck and everything, no, there's nothing there. It's beyond the feeling, the religious experience that everyone that goes there has. There's no other explanation.
Were there any previous life forms on this planet?
None that are in the databanks, not that you can find.
Wait a minute. Does this planet have any moons?
It has 2.
Have there ever been surveys of those moons?
Yes, but not deep ones. Again, any kind of attempt to study the planet or anything around it has had pushback from not just the people that live there, but literally other governments.
Well, that is going to be a major stumbling block for this mission.
You should, you're welcome to try to contact every literal government that has an issue with it.
I will contact literally every government that has ever existed and explain to them in my Khajiit voice that Letrem requires some assistance.
That's how you do it. Letrem requires that you...
Letrem requires that they assist him.
You guys have any other questions? Don't worry, we're coming to you in a second, Jay. Just, you guys have anything else you want to push or anything you're looking for when it comes to the holodeck?
Okay, I have a silly one. Not a silly one, but, just on the off chance, what kind of star does this planet orbit?
There's nothing major about the star that you can see. There's no...
Right. So it's just like a G-type star or nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
How many other planets in the system?
7. This is the only habitable one.
Is this the only one with any sort of religious significance?
Yeah. As far as they don't feel the same thing for any of the other planets. You don't get the same experiences. And the other ones, again, aren't inhabitable, at least not by most species. Tholians might love it.
Well, my money is on a Suliban device left over from the temporal Cold War that is emitting some guidance.
That's what he says. While you guys are in the holodeck, he's like, if I had to guess, it's a Suliban.
It is the Suliban, of course. Letrem admires all different species and cultures, except dirty Suliban. Suliban are like cockroaches. Oh, God.
They're in stiff competition with Cardassians, let's be frank.
Letrem bets there's no Suliban there since they can't have souls.
I find this level of racism to be most illogical.
Alright, Shay, what were you going to do?
Alright, I just want to do some computer research into the Dominion, especially the Vorda and the Jem'Hadar, especially anything before they were part of the Dominion. Anything that might tie them to this place or a place that they might think is this place.
You're not going to have a lot of success when it comes to knowing a lot about their history at this point in time. But we'll see what we can do. I need an insight plus security, so that's going to be a 9 plus a 1. That's going to be a 10. Hold on. I'll invite you into this so that you can roll going forward, but I'll roll for you this time if you don't mind. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I have this game. I could have joined into... whatever.
All right, so you got a 2 and a 10. You got 2 successes. It was a level 1. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you could have been rolling in. Yeah, load up the game for a second if you can for me. I'm going to need you to get in on this.
All right, been a little bit, so bear with me.
All right, so there's not a lot in the history when it comes to the history known about the Dominion themselves. The planet is near the Bajoran border. It is like right on the cusp of the Bajoran and Federation border itself. There's no real significance to it from a tactical standpoint. There'd be no reason to take this planet. There are a lot more tempting targets that would cause more issues for Starfleet. Its religious basis and the inspiration that it gets is something that might interest the Jem'Hadar as well as the Vorta. But in theory, the Changelings would probably look at this planet as as competition, as something that could sway away from their godhood. So if anything, unless it is an offshoot or an off branch, they could be put there to cause this kind of issues, this destabilization, to ensure that once the Dominion takes over, there's no planet that others will go and believe they're not the one real true gods.
When the Federation did its initial survey, did anybody make any kind of reference to some sort of mind-altering technology on the planet? I know the Federation is no stranger to computers ruling planets and brainwashing people, so did it occur to somebody to check for that when they initially showed up?
Oh yeah, there were a lot of theories on that, and a lot of things people had discussed. But there being theories on what they can discuss and them doing something about it are two different things.
So nothing in the scans or anything.
No, nothing in the scans that were allowed to happen. Not a lot of scans happen. By the way, guys, for those who are watching, I know it went black. I'm trying to set something up. Everything's good. You should still hear all of us.
I'm too handsome for them not to get to see me, Lore.
That's true.
I also am in the game now.
As a reminder to you guys who are playing as well, you can actually interact with the group, with the chat, so they may have good ideas for you as well.
Yes, I am watching the chat.
I'm watching it very closely.
A variety of religions, but the Federation is not theocratic. I have to work on that. I have to roll my R's, given that I am Khajiit.
So anything else you guys want to do, or shall we continue on?
Khajiit has wares if you have coin. Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, done.
All right, so a couple days go by. Again, there's a increased mood for those who are religious. They're excited. Generally, the ship seems to have a higher morale for it because, again, it's the opening and accepting Federation, so nobody's upset that religious people, they're actually being the right type of atheists. And so you arrive to the planet itself with very little fanfare. Both ships come out of warp and approach the planet itself. You guys have been called to the bridge, and the planet comes on screen. It looks like, as has been described, more or less a barren rock. Doesn't have a lot of water or any kind of like shrubbery, even the fake kind of shrubbery. Almost like a desert planet. The governor is actually there. When the planet comes in, when you can finally view the planet, she actually seems a little bit relieved. She seems happier now, ready to be there. She motions to Chahala and says, "Welcome to Chahala 4. Hopefully the crew here will enjoy their time and any other issues will be taken care of." Of course, she looks over, her and the executive officer and the captain kind of glance at you guys. The executive officer speaks up and he looks to the three of you and he says, "You've been tasked to the shuttle Hindenburg. So if you don't have any other questions, you can make your way down. We're going to send the most recent scans of the planet to your console. At that point, you'll be able to get more information. But at the moment, beyond that, he doesn't say anything. He's saying a little tight-lipped because it's more than just you and the captain and the governor. You have the other staff on there. So he doesn't go further into it.
I am personally looking forward to visiting the Vasquez Rocks.
Is the Hindenburg a human name?
I believe it was the name of some sort of mascot that sold the sausages.
It's true.
More importantly, has it had its pre-flight safety checks?
As much as can be expected, yeah.
Safety checks are for
Vulcans do not eat sausages.
safety wrecks.
That's true. That's very well said. Best of the best right here, people. This is why we make the video. All right, so you guys make your way down to the shuttle, unless you're doing anything else. Who's going to be piloting this beast?
Oh, probably Venom Geek. I mean, I imagine you have some sort of you're security, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm security. I could. Yeah, if you feel all right letting me. You know what? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take those controls. I know what I'm doing.
He's got this.
I got this.
Takes out the bottle of scotch. I know what I'm doing.
Little bit of Andorian ale. Don't worry, I got it.
I'm an engineer, but okay.
Well, look, there's engineer, and then there's Miles O'Brien.
I called shotgun. You know, the human expression shotgun. I called phaser.
Come and get me once you've broken it.
I'm driving.
All right.
So once you squeaky toy.
So once you arrive, are you guys getting anything? Having any kind of any equipment you're taking with you, or?
Well, I'm obviously bringing the phaser.
Okay.
I'm bringing a pad that has all of my research my research on it. All of my different various materials on it, so I can cross-check different religious texts. All of that. I'm bringing my compass, my manual, stupid old Earth compass that you have to flip and look at, because that's something that I have on me.
Okay. I'm bringing a tricorder and a communicator and a phase pistol.
And a Monster energy drink.
And a Monster energy drink imported from Earth, circa 2021.
Since 1998, Monster energy drink.
Right, well, I'll be bringing my phaser, I'll be bringing my tricorder, and the Yushan Tor. And then, I guess a handy bottle of Coke.
So, just so you guys know, generally, because you're Starfleet and everything, to have a phaser or to use a phaser or to bring one, it actually costs some momentum, because Starfleet officers don't generally go armed. But because of the situation and everything like that, we're not going to require it. Generally, probably won't, because you guys go into hot spots. But technically, momentums are required. Beyond that, momentum isn't required for anything else that you're bringing. As you arrive on the shuttle, the sensor data is sent down to you. Who wants to read and interpret said sensor data?
I do it.
We gotta hear it in that voice.
You didn't do it
Of
in the
course.
Khajiit voice.
I will read the sensor data.
So I need you to give me. We're not friends on Steam, so I'm gonna have to send you an invite so you can do it. So right now we'll just do it this way. Sorry, what?
I do have one request. When he's reading the sensor data, make sure that he has to say vessel.
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 Give me an insight plus science, so that's 14.
All right, so 2 d20s. First d20 was an 8. Second d20 was a 12.
All right. So you win the game. From what you can tell, why is it working now? That is so weird. You what I'm about to tell you is really important, and I hope that we can still be friends after it. I'm sorry, I finally got your media source thing to work.
All right.
The data shows on the sensors itself, it's kind of what you saw. Everything's barren except for what was discussed beforehand. You actually have identified where you think the group is. It looks like the Purity cult is in a cave system that is just right next to the colony itself. You can tell it looks like there's anywhere from about 30 to 40 people there. And unfortunately, getting a phaser lock, getting a transporter lock on any of them doesn't seem possible with all the minerals and other BS that they generally use so that transporters can't be used in this type of situation. You see an actual outcropping where you could land and actually be able to see the cave entrance and get a better idea of what's going on. And that's where your orders are. Your orders are to go down to that location, make your way towards the cave outcropping, see if you can figure out what's going on, and make contact peacefully, if that's possible.
Just since you brought it up, and given that peaceful contact may or may not be a thing, what about phaser lock?
Well, you're not the one doing the science, so I can't really tell you anything about that necessarily.
The planet is as rocky and full of strange minerals as a litter box.
I assume you ask him, so I'm just giving you a hard time. I assume you ask him. I mean, you could actually lock on to that location and fire on it, I suppose.
I would not recommend this course of action.
I would not even recommend a phaser lock. They may be able to detect it.
I would not recommend even thinking about it. Many species here are telepathic.
There's a lot worse things I'm thinking than phaser locks.
Now I cannot stop myself from thinking about it.
We must kill them all. What?
We must make sure that no one leaves this place alive.
For religion is the problem. And
try not to think about an elephant. You can't do it.
Religion is the problem, and we're the answer.
Latrem has not seen an elephant, so it is very easy for him.
Try not to think about android space tentacles and portals.
Latrem has not seen any episodes of Picard yet, so don't spoil it for him. Latrem is saving up for when Paramount Plus brings the Lower Deck show back for its second season, and then he will watch the rest of the Star Trek stuff.
Latrem's probably not missing much right now. Latrem goes up there. Is where Latrem goes. All right. So yeah.
Latrem is a big fan of Babylon 5, and is waiting for that to come to Netflix.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I can't watch Babylon 5. I haven't seen Babylon 4.
Hey-o. All right. So are you guys going down then? Is that what's happened? Going down.
I believe so.
All right. Let's see. All right. So I need our wonderful and beautiful security chief to somehow get us down, even though he wasn't designed to do such. So we will be rolling a...
Why did you let the guy in the red shirt
drive
the Hindenburg?
It looks like we're live.
It'd be control and command. I'm sorry, control and con, not control and command.
And now I'm looking at the
So
screen.
that's going to be 9 and 3.
9 and 3? Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12. Something wrong with the screen? I'm fixing it while I'm playing with you guys, so...
I have Trenker listed as science officer and Latrem listed as science officer, but Latrem's division color is not correct, so I will have to fix that.
All right. So you got 4 and 3, 2 successes, so you make it without any issues. By the way, this is made by the wonderful Weasel, who is worth more than gold. He does awesome work. For those, so as you make your way down, again, it's pretty barren. You don't see a lot of It's not really a lot to see beyond rocks and dust and dirt. You see the
Again,
other.
much like a litter box.
You see the other shuttles coming down. The other shuttles going towards the colony itself. You go and sit down where you're told. From everything you can tell, there's no one there. It's going to be a little bit of a jaunt, but you can make your way towards the caves. From everything you see, it's all serene, though. One thing, though, well, so you guys are in the shuttle. Now what do you decide to do?
Well, I am going to take a sip from my canteen of coconut water and say, who is up for a jog?
I mean, it's like, what, 50 degrees out there, and I'm an Andorian. I'm not jogging. I'm gonna take this real easy, thanks.
Here, I can give you a big,
I'm gonna-
heavy winter coat for you. I understand that Andoria is naturally very hot.
I was talking about, Celsius, a real.
Here, I have many space heaters for you as well. We can outfit your coat with these space heaters.
The
I can
Celsius.
phaser these rocks and put them in your pockets to make it even hotter.
Fine, thanks.
The oppressor's preferred way of looking at weather. Okay, so what are we doing? We're getting on coats and making stuff hot.
I assumed we were leaving.
That just destroyed the entire conversation right there, didn't it?
Latrem slowly takes off his uniform.
The trim's like, let's just get weird.
This is a
Quite
desert.
normal in
Is that
Asian
a hot-
culture.
This is a desert planet, right? Am I?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty hot in these uniforms. I mean,
Much like the sands of elsewhere. It is very familiar to Latrem.
It reminds me of Vulcan. I hate it.
it reminds me of Vulcan. I hate
He
it.
hates it too.
It reminds me of Vulcan.
We're waiting
I am indifferent about Vulcan.
I stay neutral. All right, so you guys are getting off
Yeah.
in more ways than one. All right, so as you
You don't even know.
as you disembark, you are able to. The feeling you get is almost really hard to describe. You feel refreshed, energetic, happy to be there. The world itself around you just feels. Everything seems right while you're here. Specifically, Siren, you feel more connected with the planet now that you're on. It feels like there's a bond between you and it.
This is interesting.
You guys get 3 momentum because of this, because your characters are so happy with life at this point.
Apparently our momentum is very high. We must be moving at very much velocity.
Yes. Called it.
I feel something, and that is unusual.
Latrem is just purring.
He's like, I feel something that's unusual behind. Latrim is rubbing his face against his lap.
I was about to say, if you feel something maybe keep it to yourself. I know these religious types can get weird.
I have spent a lifetime suppressing emotion, and I've stood on this planet for 30 seconds, and now I can't do it anymore.
It is most unusual. Latrem
is.
feels peace and
Most unusual.
joy.
In fact, it's illogical.
All right. So, do you guys continue going then?
Yes.
All right.
Is there? Hang on. Oh wait, I have to do it. Is there any kind of perception check in this system?
Yeah.
That's a good
You,
question.
you
Okay,
also,
I would-
you also have things like tricorders that are magic.
I would like to check my magic tricorder and do a perception check.
Okay. So for your magic tricorder, you would roll an insight plus engineering. That's what I'm going to go with.
All right, so that's a 10 and 11. And then I roll twice or once.
2d20.
All right. Oh shit. All right. Well, that was a 1, and that's an 11.
Okay, so a 1's really good.
Oh, okay. Yay! I won.
So if you roll a 20, that's really bad.
Awesome. I have a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like a nat 20.
Yeah.
You know.
So you get an additional momentum. You guys should really look into using this. I'll go over what they're for one more time.
How many momentum do we have total now?
1,
Is that
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
all right?
So,
I'm just gonna put it on this thing in the game here so I can keep track.
Well, I have it right over here. I have
okay.
8 of them. So when you look at it, you can actually tell it's kind of it scans that you've never seen before. It scans that you've actually never seen before. The planet itself seems to be made of energy in a way that hasn't really been recorded in the past. Everything's connected. Everything has a aura around it. In fact, even when you're on the planet itself, the energies seem to connect to you in some way. What's interesting though is like on the shuttle, on the things that aren't physically touching the shuttle. Now the outside of the shuttle itself, all that metal has that connection, but the inside of it doesn't seem to be permeated in any of this energy.
Okay, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. That means that there is some way to insulate against this kind of energy. How far away from the walls of the shuttle does the energy stop, or is it directly at the walls of the shuttle?
It goes about 4 inches in.
So I couldn't
Sorry,
just...
I don't know the oppressors. What would Venom? What would the oppressors thing? What's 4 inches in meters?
It would be centimeters, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't live in the UK, so.
I suggest that
I'm sorry.
I suggest we step back inside the shuttle so that we can discuss this without this place affecting our minds.
I concur with Jay.
Skittles?
I forgot your name. Hold on.
Saren.
Saren. I concur. Saren.
So, just so you guys know, I just want to let you be aware. When it comes to momentum, these are the things that you can actually do with it. You can... hold on. There's another reference here, too, I think. Maybe not. Maybe so. Or maybe not. You can create an opportunity. You can create... well, this is for combat. There's got to be another one. We'll come back to that. Never mind. So anyway, you get back in the shuttle.
We should take another scan of the interior of the shuttle as a control, and then we can compare that to the scans of the exterior.
This is an excellent suggestion.
Perhaps it would be a good idea to... No, never mind. That could be seen as hostile to whoever it is that we meet.
What
are you
is this idea?
That we should don EVA suits.
It's hot enough as it is. I don't need an EVA suit, thanks.
Well, they have environmental
They are
controls.
environmentally controlled. The problem is how will they react to us when we
Roll
show
up with spacesuits on, yes.
Roll up a well-Khajiit known thing.
Well, also, if the Jem'Hadar are around here and we start having to shoot our way out, I don't want to have to be trundling around in a spacesuit.
The worst thing that could happen is that your spacesuit tears and then you're suddenly really happy to be in a fight.
That is something that I neglected to research. The account of the people who the Jem'Hadar fired on. There must have been survivors. I will have to remember that for when we get back onto the Titanic.
Surely this shuttle has a computer. Maybe you could use some momentum to try and find out.
You're right. I should hurl myself at the computer to see if it is able to research.
As you guys, I'd like everyone to give me, and I can roll for you. Everyone to give me an insight plus security check.
9.
Venom, can you give me what's your
Insight
numbers?
is 10 plus 4.
So 14.
My insight is 9 plus 1, so 10.
Okay. What'd you roll?
To be honest, I just rolled off the side. I forgot immediately what I rolled. Let me
Can
try
you roll
again.
twice again for me?
All right, I got a 12, and I got a 4.
And so what was your numbers again?
10 plus 12 plus 4.
All right. Jay, you're in here, so why don't you roll these 2 dice right here and tell me what their numbers are? You see them? They're moving around.
Alright.
Look at them. They're right there. They're beautiful.
Let's see.
Those are the
I
ones.
see them.
So a
Did I
16
just
and
roll
a
that
4.
off the virtual table?
You did. Don't touch that.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Don't touch stuff. Don't touch them. All right, so you rolled 16 and a 4. What's your stats at?
My insight is 9. Where do you get the plus from?
You get insight. You add insight and what did I say the other number was going to be? Insight and I said security. didn't I?
Security. Yeah,
Yeah.
security.
So you add,
Then 9 plus 1.
so you had 10 and you rolled a 16 and a what?
I don't know. I thought
16
you
and
looked.
4. I did.
Yeah, 4.
Okay, so 1 success for you, 1 success for Weasel, it looks like, and no successes for Venom. So Venom doesn't see it coming, like at any stretch. You guys actually look up and you can see 2 Jem'Hadar attack craft making a direct run at you guys, and from 2 different sides you see Jem'Hadar actually rushing towards you.
Well, that's not a good thing.
So 2 squads. I'm sorry, not just 2 Jem'Hadar, 2 squads.
The
Oh,
good
that's
news
even
is,
worse.
when we get done here, we can just discuss this instance of the Jem'Hadar firing on the planet.
Something
Ven-
is not good here.
So while you're doing that, what's happening is that Venom's character is actually looking inside of the shuttle. While you guys are noticing that, so he's trying to get the centimeters or whatever, just looking around, being like, "Yeah, I don't see anything." And while you're doing that, you guys look up, and you're like,
What do you think about pushing him into the shuttle and shutting the door?
Quick, you have ears. Pretend to be Volta.
I don't think that will work.
Well, it's not going to work for me. But yes, I will. No, wait. I would probably not get into shuttle. If we have 2 attack craft coming in, that's not a good idea to get into a vehicle. They're probably going to fire directly at that.
That's true. I was going to engage with them.
"You see Venom working while you 2 are trying to figure this out."
Someone should warn Venom real quick. Someone
So,
should.
You're thinking we should duck into the cave instead of trying to engage the enemy.
I would say yes. I don't believe that we would stand up much to 2 divisions of Jem'Hadar and 2 attack craft.
I see the logic in your argument.
But I would also recommend that we do not fire on the Jem'Hadar until they fire at us, just in case this is actually a party of really happy Jem'Hadar coming to hug us.
Let's leave. We can leave the Endorian. They like Endorians.
Endorians are blue, Jem'Hadar are blue, therefore they like Endorians.
Venom's character.
Can I grab him and turn him around toward where
I'm
we're
just-
facing so
I'm
he can
just
see?
saying. I just see that, like, you 2 run off, and Venom's character finally walks out, and he sees the Jem'Hadar outside. He's like, "Those sons of bitches." I always knew it would be this way.
Suddenly turns into Trip Tucker, you son of a bitch.
Abandoned by a Vulcan and a furry.
It's like I always knew this is how I went.
Oh.
Abandoned by a Vulcan and a fur. One of them I
Yeah.
respect.
Keep your shirt on, Lieutenant.
Take your shirt off, Lieutenant.
So you guys are making a run for the for the
As
cave?
Latrim is running, he turns it. Take your shirt off, Lieutenant.
The blue. They respect the blue. So
They
yeah,
respect blue.
so you turn him around. You're able to turn him around, and I assume.
Excellent.
Grab him by his collar.
All right. So you guys
I-
start making
I
your way.
bite him by the scruff of his neck to carry him like a kitten.
Just to be clear, she's a she. Nithla is a she.
I bite her by the scruff of her neck and to carry her like a
So
kitten.
first off, she can identify as whatever she wants. All right. It's not like she's Scottish and you get to choose. Okay. So she can be whatever she wants to be. All right. All right. So sorry, Bash in the UK is what I do for a living on live chats. If you guys haven't been a part of it, this is a part of my life. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure during a role-playing game he gets to choose.
Is Scotland part of the UK?
Yeah. Still is.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, who is not part of the UK though?
The bottom
America?
bit of Ireland.
America is not part of the UK,
The
sir.
bad part of Ireland.
Exactly, and look at you.
Yeah, look at what happened to you.
Fucking the Vulcan turns to go, America's not a part of the UK.
Just for that, when this live stream's over, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm gonna get all the tea and I'm gonna throw it in the creek.
The Yorkshire team. All right, so you guys begin making your way. Go ahead and give me a fitness plus. Oh hell. We'll go with security. Fitness plus. Man, we're using security a lot today, aren't we?
That's not good.
So 5.
That's not a good number.
So that's 10 and 4.
That's
So 14.
Yep.
1 and 4. Wait a minute, you know what? Let me check my fitness. Wait, no, it's 10 and 4. It's 10 and 4. It's cutting off the 0. My character sheet is cutting off the 0. It's
Sounds like a
10
bit
and
of a-
4.
Sounds like a bit of a house cat.
You don't have to run fast, just faster than the Cation. All right.
I have lost track of which one is the house cat.
Vacation runs very fast.
All right. So you said 10 and 4. So we'll do you first. Hold on.
Well, we're both 10 and 4. So.
All right. So yeah, but I'm rolling for Venom this week. 14. So both 2 successes. Jay, roll for yourself.
Ooh, that's scary. Okay.
Okay.
I rolled
Yeah,
2
actually roll it.
sixes.
There it is. Well, that's worse. I shouldn't have made you re-roll that, Jay. You're muted.
Wait,
All right. So
I
you
am?
rolled 2 6s.
I did, yes.
Yeah, but that's under 14. So.
Oh, okay, good. Yay.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the Vulcan is not. So you guys are making your way. You're trying to run. As you're going, unfortunately, for whatever reason, even though it's a desert planet, Latrell, the Vulcan starts falling behind. And you can choose how you want this to go, Jay. You're a little muted, but you can choose whether he just trips over something or he skipped cardio day. How exactly describe what's going on with your character?
He trips over something and he falls flat on his pointy Vulcan nose.
The Monster Energy drink was expired.
Smack. Monster Energy drink was expired. It's like 2021. It's like hundreds of years ago.
So he hits the ground. The Jemadar are quickly advancing on you. And you see the 2 attack shuttles landing on either side of the Hindenburg. So what do you 2 do?
Right, you grab him. I'll put down covering fire.
All right, I will go and get the Vulcan, and you will hold your fire until we're shot at. I just had a bad feeling about shooting at the Jem'Hadar and giving them an excuse to fire at
Okay,
us.
what if I make phaser noises? What if I just make phaser noises?
Make threatening gestures with your phaser and then trust that the effects department will add in the lasers later.
That's exactly how I see the conversation went to. It's like, get him and I'll give covering fire. All right, I'll get him and you will not fire until fired upon. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so I need a fitness plus security from you, Noah. By the way, just so you know, common uses of momentum. You can create an opportunity, so like something good can happen. You can create a problem. You can obtain information, and you can create an advantage.
Okay. I am going to get this Vulcan. I'm just going to run as fast as possible to grab him.
All right.
And then drag him as forcefully as possible back towards the cover of the cave.
All right. Fitness plus security.
My
Get this Vulcan.
is 8, and my security is either my security is a 3. I have no idea why the PSD viewer is cutting the numbers directly in half, so I have to kind of squint. But I will roll 2 d20s. Oh shit! All right. Well, one of them was an 18.
Okay.
And the other one was a 19.
We're not friends
Okay,
anymore.
so you're struggling. So you're struggling to get him. I assume. Are you firing venom or no?
I'm looking, threatening. I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're
Gritting your teeth, being like, ah, yeah!
He's
So-
standing on his toes so that he looks a little taller.
Be
You're
sure to arch your back and stick your claws when you do that.
You're struggling. You're struggling to get him. Unfortunately, there's been enough time. You guys find yourselves surrounded by both squads. At least 12 people or so. You have your weapon up, but you're obviously outnumbered. As this is occurring, you suddenly hear screaming and yelling coming from where the caves are, from the actual hills itself. People of different species begin running out, and they're actually holding various things in their hands, and rushing towards the Jem'Hadar. The Jem'Hadar turn to the people coming, but instead of firing when whatever they're holding in their hand comes up, they actually seem to be frightened by it and start pulling back and start retreating.
Oh shit! Latrem arches his back and extends his claws. Apparently, these are like reject Jem'Hadar. They're very cowardly, so maybe I can frighten them.
Am I unconscious or just hurt?
Yeah.
You're just down. You're not even hurt. You just tripped.
You're just embarrassed. You don't even want to move.
I do not feel embarrassment.
So they don't seem to respond to you, but anytime a Jem'Hadar comes towards you guys, the group actually surrounds you and they start pushing back. The kind of objects you see, some of them are crosses, some of them appear to be like those little globular things that have steam coming out of them, some of them are gems.
A requiem?
I don't know, whatever the Catholics used to have, and I think I've even
I
seen
think that's
them as
called a
well.
requiem.
Sure.
I have to double check.
Are you
that.
talking about rosary beads?
No, it's the smoky
thing,
thing.
the smoke.
The
Yeah.
smoky
Ah. And why are they backing away from that? That is most illogical.
I mean, the fumes gets in your eyes.
thing. Oh my god! What if the actual Google suggestion is Catholic smoke thing? a thubulal.
You think there's
Catholic
any
smoke thing.
you think there's any snake handlers on this planet?
One of them has a snake. So it turns
One of
around.
them has a snake. I knew it.
So as the Jem'Hadar start to retreat and the ships actually even get up and they get up, they literally just stand on their legs and walk. They take off, and after a few minutes you feel a huge gust of wind and they just seem to disappear. And one of the people turns around and looks to you three, and he nods his head. He says, "Are you all right?"
Did all the religious people just disappear into thin air?
No, not the religious people, the Jem'Hadar.
The Jem'Hadar disappeared into thin air?
They did, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I am feeling very happy and am not suspicious at all.
Okay. Is that
There
what you
is no
said?
need to use your mysterious powers on us. We are true believers, obviously.
Something
That's it.
very strange is going on here.
All praise whatever it is you enjoy.
And
please
this
don't-
Weird
one,
mind child.
Please don't kill us.
this one is a rock star, so I'm hoping to have better luck.
Please don't kill us.
Grand old rock stars for over 300 years, offering the finest in caffeine energization.
So,
We promise not to make you fall flat on your Vulcan face.
Anyway, says okay. He looks
Sorry,
a little.
Lord.
Do you actually? It's fine. He actually. Do you actually say that? I feel happy
Me?
and believe whatever you believe.
Yes, I do. Actually, I say, oh, we're so happy and believe whatever it is you believe. Just don't use your mind powers on us.
He pauses a moment. He looks confused. And he says, "Well, I truly hope that is the case. Sorry, we didn't arrive in time. We were looking around, seeing if we could find what's been happening, and we heard that some demons had made their way over here. So we came as quick as we could.
Wait a minute. Are you Tholians?
No, we're not. I'm human, sir. Sir, this is a
On the
McDonald's.
contrary, I believe that you arrived just in time.
He motions with his hand. He says, "If you'll follow us, we can get you food and make sure that you've been taken care of."
I think we should follow the man.
I think we should do whatever it is that they tell us to do.
I mean,
These scary people will make you disappear into a cornfield.
So
Perhaps the Jim Hadar were a projection.
Oh yeah,
perhaps they're
this could
still
be
out there.
this could be a scam. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Let's just wait and see if they ask for any gold-pressed latinum.
Let's just wait and see, and if they want us to start selling some enhanced oils or
They start passing around a plastic 5-gallon bucket, we'll know what we found.
So they lead you into the cave. They take you through the system. As you go, you're seeing more and more people. They're walking around, wandering. Some of them actually do have weapons, but they seem like just basic weapons, sidearms, stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily look like a military. They take you towards what looks like the grander chamber, possibly the central one, where there's a lot of lighting, food, there's all kinds of decorations, various religious icons and iconography can be seen there. After a few minutes, a woman with red hair, who is Trill, actually makes her way out, and she dips her head and she says, "Welcome, my name is Didac. I'm really excited that you're here. I'm sorry that we couldn't find you before the demons had come."
So, so she's ginger.
Yeah, she's
She's a thrill.
yeah. But
Do
ginger,
I
she's
thought, I thought gingers didn't have souls.
They didn't. She's exactly like a Suliban.
Do the demons show up often, ma'am?
She shakes her head and pauses and says, "Unfortunately, ever since those who are here have decided not to follow the one true God, the demons have been coming more and more as recompense. Sometimes they show themselves in various forms based on the fears of the people around them. Sometimes it's the Jem'Hadar. Sometimes it's based on hellish, varying perspectives."
Do you recall a time that the demons crashed a ship or killed a person recently?
She pauses and thinks a moment and then shakes her head. She says, "No, I don't believe so."
So why is it that the demons seem to flee from you?
Because we have been given commandments by the one true God. He has, I don't know if it's a he or she, has wanted us to ensure that everyone follows the one true religion.
So you have met this god.
I've met his messenger, the angel. Would you like to meet her? I think she
Very
could change your
much.
minds.
Yes, we would like to meet her. Thank you very much.
Oh no, wait, is it made of stone? This could turn real bad real quick.
Shit can go down. I don't believe that. No, she doesn't. She generally doesn't come in the form of stone.
Latrem's ears are kind of flattened and his eyes are getting a little wider.
Okay. She sits and just looks. So you would like to meet her then?
Sure.
Okay. She nods her head and she motions if you'll follow me.
Oh wait, in my research, did I come across what was the connection between the Trill religion and this place?
There wasn't any major Trill connection.
So the one race that does not have a religious connection to this place just happens to also be the Didact.
Yeah, correct.
Interesting.
Indeed.
That is the Andorian equivalent of indeed is.
Suspicious, if you ask me.
All right. So, you guys follow her. She actually calls for 4 or 5 other people to come. They take you to a ridge where you can actually see the colony. It's actually quite beautiful. There are actually clouds here, and the sun is starting to set. She turns and brings her hands together, looking at both of you, and she says, we'll have to do the summoning ritual. It can take some time. Is any of you religious and would like to take a part of this? It could perhaps bring the angel here faster.
I am willing to take part in the ritual. I have no particular direct faith to speak of, but I am always open to new experiences.
Okay. She says, and then she looks to you, the other two.
Are we allowed to observe the ritual?
You're welcome to observe, just don't interact. Regardless of what you see or what happens, please don't attempt to interfere.
Could I leave my tricorder running while the ritual's happening?
She says, of course. Why would I have any issues with you using your tricorder?
Okay.
Alright, so they then put Weasel's character on a spit, and they start flank now. Now,
we're getting kinky fast, aren't we?
She motions for a place for Weasel's character to kneel, and then the other 5 start kneeling as well. And she says, just pray. She looks over to you. She says, I want you to pray and ask for the angel to arrive. It doesn't matter who you're praying to or what you believe in. The true creator knows who you're looking for, because the true creator is obviously in all of our hearts, regardless of the name that we're giving to them.
Remember, the safe word is Wessels.
And she said, she looks up and she says, you said you would not interfere. I got to spit with your name on it, green blood. She doesn't say that. It'd be pretty bad.
My apologies.
So she motions and then starts praying. Do you actually pray?
Yes, Latrem will go through the motions of praying with these people. He is an anthropologist. This is normal for his line of work.
Okay, but
Is
does
he going through the motions, or is he actually praying?
Yeah, that's my question.
He is going through the motions. He's putting enough effort into it for them to,
All right.
he's not being a dick, basically. He's putting the effort in. He's not doing it earnestly, to the extent of him actually believing it, but he is doing like, okay, I'll pray to one of the many gods I am aware of as an anthropologist.
After about 5 or 6 minutes, all of a sudden the ridge is bathed in nothing but white. You see a light shining down from one of the clouds as if it's coming from heaven. A asexual form arrives with robes that seem to be made of fire. You can see you don't see a face, but you see the head where the face would be. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the visage, but there's no actual face there.
Wait, is the head really big? Is it really round?
He goes by Negligent or whatever his name is. No. No, it's just a normal face. You know who Nelgem is or whatever, that face that appeared TNG Season 1, the baby that killed the guy. But no, that's not him. Looks
I'm more trying to figure out by the silhouette if it's one of those humanoid progenitor people.
You can do a roll for it. You don't... Okay.
Well, I've got my tricorder out.
We'll get to that in just 1 second. Give me
All right.
insight plus science, Weasel.
All right. My insight is 10, and my science is probably 4.
Well, do you have your PDF sheet right in front of you?
I'm looking at it, but like I said, it is actually physically cutting the number in half. So
Oh, that's weird.
I'm
It's a 4.
guessing. Okay, yes, then yes, 10 and 4.
Okay, so roll it. Under 14.
All right, 2,
Yes, 2d20, always.
13, 6.
Okay. Doesn't look like progenitor.
I love how he's always doing the voice. I love it.
And then Venom, give me the same checks.
Yep. So that's what was that again?
Insight and science. Just tell me what the numbers are.
So that's it's like 10, science, 1 to 11.
11. Okay. At least it's not 5. 1 success, really all you needed. The tricorder itself, actually, so I'm going to answer that one first. Tricorder itself shows that it's pure energy in front of you, what you're looking at. Interestingly enough, again, it's a weird reading, something you haven't seen before. It is organic and specific to the planet. So, like everything has its own kind of I forget what the word I'm looking for. It has its own signature, you know? And so it's energy, it's organic energy, but it's coming directly from the planet itself, from what you can tell. It's everything that's combining. So, for instance, you know that energy that's surrounding you? You have a different signature than the energy that's surrounding you, but this being is completely made of that energy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there a temporal element to this? Is there some kind of temporal particles or
Oh man,
chronoton particles?
That's a great question, and something you can actually use for that is momentum. Would you like to use 2 momentum to do a deeper check? Everybody
You
has
guys-
to agree.
Yes, go do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Figure out if it's time stuff.
They are chronoton particles around her.
Okay.
Timey-wimey.
Could be.
So as she's coming down, or it's actually I say she. You can't tell what the form is. The sex isn't. And you actually, Jay, you specifically, your character can feel the character there too. So like on a spiritual, not only is she physically there, but on a spiritual level. And even though everyone's going to hear what she's saying, you can actually hear her voice in your head as well. And so we'll call the Guardian. The Guardian comes down and begins talking and states, "I'm the messenger of God. Welcome to the planet. Have you come here to help guide his message?"
Are they asking me?
It's saying it to all of you.
I am going to let the didact answer that question.
So you guys aren't saying anything just yet?
Not just yet.
Okay. So the woman looks up and she looks back. She says, great messenger of God. These 3 have come from Starfleet, from the Federation. They can be trusted, and they're here to help us ensure that everyone understands what the one true religion is." And then she looks back to you guys.
I think we.
We are
nod along.
interested in understanding more about this one true religion, yes.
Okay. The messenger looks and she says, well, God has sent me to assist in ensuring that the demons don't arrive. He has found that the universe has become chaotic. It has become fraught with people having different opinions and causing issues and pain. And so he has stated that he wishes for everyone to come together under one rule, and as a benevolent God, he wishes for you to choose which religion that you all must combine under.
Oh,
And if we choose not to combine, then what would happen?
Without consensus, the one true God will have issues holding back the demons.
That sounds like a threat.
The form pauses a moment and it says it's not a threat. Without your vessel, you can't enter into space. Not without being harmed, correct?
Correct.
Is that a threat?
Well, the space isn't an active being. Space just is.
As is God.
But you speak of them like a person.
It is the best way for us to connect. God is. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He is. He wishes to ensure that all people have peace.
and it's definitely a he.
They wish for all people to have peace. You pedantic cat.
No, I just want to, that's a legitimate question.
Sure,
Because
they.
if it has a gender, then that implies there's a species.
Sure.
It's
He
it's
says-
a member of
he
some
says
kind
they.
of species. Okay, they.
They say they, since the angel technically doesn't have a species, it has a thing either.
The
Peace on-
Federation has met many gods in its travels. You'll have to forgive the skepticism.
Indeed, I imagine, but still we are here with demons that we have to take care of.
It may in fact be referring to a gaurd.
But tell me, whose peace then? Because there's a lot of different options for peace these days. Would your god prefer that we go on under Federation peace, or would it prefer that we go on under a Dominion banner?
They do not have a preference. In fact, that is the reason why I have come to you. You are to officiate and decide which rules to be followed under, which religion to come under, so that they may take care of you.
And it would be okay with your god if the universe was united under Dominion rule. He would have no ethical problem with that arrangement.
I've given you as much information as I am able to.
And
Well,
we
you-
thank you for that information.
Will you go to the colony and carry the message so that as a specific rule may be given? For with these rules, God will be able to assist and create whatever you need.
Oh, better yet, we can go directly to Starfleet.
If you wish. As long as these rules and this peace has been decided and given to God, and is followed on the planet and elsewhere, they would be more than happy.
We will be happy to convey any message you wish us to convey to our superiors.
Okay. The being nods and says the message has been given. Then, is there anything else that you have question of?
I do, actually. We saw that the Jem'Hadar were made to vanish. Were they made to vanish to any specific location?
They ceased to exist. The demons themselves. They had
I
appeared.
see.
Once
So you're saying
the
that
followers of the one true God were able to show their allegiance and their dedication to peace, they were handled.
So these were some beings, demons, you call them, taking the form of Jem'Hadar rather than the actual Jem'Hadar.
Correct.
Okay. He's going to want to go back through and check the scanners on that just to make sure that we were actually picking up Jem'Hadar signatures.
Okay. Well, you can do that on the back end. What are you doing? Are you done talking to the angel?
Latrem he's already spoken, and he will convey this message to his superiors.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
done too.
Same. Done.
So, the angel pauses a moment, or the being pauses a moment, and says, it is the greatest hope of the one true God that you are able to come to a consensus before the storm or any other fate should befall. And then the light, all of a sudden there's a flash of light. It almost looks kind of like Q-like, and everyone disappears. Not everyone, the angel disappears. The didact and everyone else is still there.
I suggest we find a quiet place to talk.
The woman stands up and she turns and she looks to you and she nods her head. She says it can be overwhelming. Oh, for you, Jay, your character, once the being disappears, it feels like almost like a sense of loss. Like it was something that was like filling you up for a second, and then there's a sense of loss. You don't have any. It's not like you want to follow what they say or like you want to do what they say, but it's just like it was a
Right.
presence inside of your mind, and now that's gone. It's kind of like
That's
it's like if you're,
interesting.
it's kind of like if you know how if you're holding like something to massage your back, like the vibrations or whatever, and then you turn it off, you can still kind of feel it there. You can still feel what was going on.
Right.
Kind of like that.
My back. Yeah.
So, all right, and so you guys ask for a private place.
Yes, we would
yes.
like to go back to our shuttle and discuss this.
She knows that. She said, "Of course, you're welcome to leave. It's my hope that Starfleet will bring peace, so that nothing has to escalate."
As do we hope so.
Okay.
So she motions. She's like, "One of our dearest advents will help you find your way back and protect you from any demons."
Okay.
All right. So you're shown to your shuttle.
Well,
And
I
so,
don't know about you, but I'm getting real Q vibes from her.
Well, I was going to say, given the scan that I did, the fact that we were getting chronoton particles, I'm thinking she's not from our timeline, or not from our time period. She might be from the future.
I
Or perhaps from the past.
don't know how to explain this, but I can feel. I'm feeling things, perhaps more than the rest of you, which is
Well.
interesting.
You are Vulcan. Your species does possess some telepathic abilities, yes?
This is true, which makes me believe that God may also possess some telepathic abilities.
And the chosen
I can-
one is Trill.
I could hear that being speaking inside my mind.
It could be reaching out.
Did you feel the being doing anything else inside your mind, accessing memories, taking knowledge, that kind of thing?
No, just a feeling of loss when she was gone. Like I could feel the after effects of her having been there, is the best way I could describe it.
Shavik. And Dorian.
Shavik, yes.
Shavik! Did your scans indicate the presence of a Trill symbiote in the didact?
That I did not think to scan. I was kind of focusing on the, big light.
I mean,
Entity.
you can go back and recheck scans, right? I mean, you might. Can you try that with momentum? Will that work?
No,
No.
you have to be
Has to be
there
scanned
doing it.
live.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
From my,
Just checking.
from my research, I found no connection between the Trill faith and this place, and yet the didact is a Trill. There were no other Trills in the crowd that I saw.
We should maybe cross-reference the scans that we took of the interior of the shuttle and the exterior, as well as the scans of the entity. That will maybe reveal something.
That could be important. If the entity is from the future, it must be using immense amounts of energy. It would be strange for such an entity to self-limit to the point where its effects could not be felt inside the interior of a shuttlecraft.
So whoever's doing it needs to give an insight plus science.
All right, I can do an insight plus science. All right, I can do an insight plus science. My insight is 10, my science is 4, and I can roll 2 times if that is necessary. All right.
Do it.
6, 5.
Okay. 2 successes, but it's not enough. Would you like to use a momentum to roll one more time?
I will use a momentum to roll one more time.
It's 2 more momentums, yeah. Roll one more time.
1.
Okay.
I can even tilt the camera towards it to show you if you need that.
Well, that's fine. This is the only time that we'll do this because I'll have you in the system next time. So
What he means is cheat as much as you can now.
keep rolling ones and see what happens. So from what you can tell, there is a distinct difference. There does feel like there's a time phase. That's actually, ironically, a small part of the scans that you're getting. It's more that the energy is the planet, and the planet is the energy. The permeation that's coming from it just seems to be coming from the core of the planet and is being exerted outside with a force. Now, there is chronoton particles there, but that seems to be a byproduct of everything that's occurring.
Oh, no.
And so, for instance, you can see that the planet, though, the more that it uses there's more drain that's happening, that there's a limited source of power, and it has to be recycled. So you can tell from your scans of the Jem'Hadar, who did look like Jem'Hadar, but the planet itself seemed to be weaker. And when the messenger was there, you saw even it becoming even more weaker.
We may have landed on Unicron.
You hear, as you say that, you hear a beep from your comm badge. Ba-da-doo. And apparently background. Ba-da-doo.
All right, so we should answer that at the Microsoft update. Someone get that.
So, as you answer it, it's one of the science officers from the Titanic. It says, "Say this is Ensign Off, AHFF, Ensign Off, and we see that a huge storm is headed for the colony. They appear to not be preparing for it, though."
That is probably their prerogative. I doubt that this entity will let anything happen to them.
Okay, so the ensign says, "Entity?" Confused.
We
Your orders
haven't-
are to go to the colony and ensure that they prepare.
Very well. Shavik, go tell them.
So you're just send the Andorian. We're still gonna figure this out.
Well, it would be worth observing, seeing what happens when this storm hits, or
That
what?
is very true. We should all go, but keep your
Antenna?
Keep your I wasn't going to say that. No, I
Should
wasn't
we
going to say that.
should
at
we
all.
watch this from orbit or from the planet?
I would say I do not believe that the entity will do anything to harm us now that we have agreed to bring its message to the Starfleet. I would recommend that we go and observe and let the villagers know that there is a storm on the way, but we keep our tricorders on passive scan.
It may be worth it not to pass on the message, as it were, until after the observations. You don't want to give them the I'm finished with them sort of vibe.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, obviously, we are going to do this first, and then we're going to leave. I mean, I wasn't suggesting that we go all the way back up to the
I mean,
Titanic and then
even
fly
what
all
I-
the way back down here. I mean, I
Well-
realized we could possibly use the transporter. Why didn't we use the transporter?
What I was saying was don't
What are you guys?
don't do it over the comm is what I mean.
Okay, well, I wasn't. No,
Right.
I was going to save that for the
So-
commander, admiral. I forgot their rank already. Damn.
So
I
what are
need
you
to
guys
cut
doing?
the nip. I really need to cut the nip. We're going to go see the villagers.
Yeah.
I
The
imagine.
colonists? Okay.
And we're the colonists, and we're going to tell them there's a storm on the way, and we're going to keep our tricorders on passive, and just kind of observe things.
Okay. For a second, I thought you were going to do it from space. I just didn't know. That's why I was asking. So you're actually going to the colony.
Right.
Okay. So you make your way to the colony. The governor actually, once she arrives, is aware you're coming, so she makes her way out, and she dips her head and she says, "Hello. Have you found out what's been going on? Were you able to find the movement?"
Oh yeah, we found them. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, there's a storm coming.
She nods her head. She says, "Yeah, we saw it on sensors, or what little sensors we have. Storms come ever so often. We're not as concerned about it."
Like, yeah, we figured. It's just a bad one. We were told directly by the captain of the vessel to tell you that there was a storm coming.
Okay. She nods her head. She says, "Okay, well, I appreciate it. I'm sure it'll be fine. We've never really had all that bad storms, so I'm sure it'll be a light drizzle."
So
All right.
you're not going to make any preparations?
She says, I've never had to before. What, do you have reason to believe that this would be something different?"
Well, I mean, it was bad enough for the captain to tell us to come and personally tell you. I imagine that means it's somewhat more severe than a drizzle.
Okay. She nods her head. She says, we'll take a little bit of a deeper look at it.
Oh yeah, the people that we found worship some kind of energy being.
Energy being. Okay. Well, we have things like that before. Did you find out why they've been hostile or been able to handle the situation?
The energy being is capable of phasing people and material out of existence somehow.
And possibly into existence as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Seems to have been using the Jem'Hadar as a form of scare tactic to try and scare people into following its belief.
What does it
Oh,
want?
yeah, right. Hey, check the sensors. Make sure those are actually Jem'Hadar. I mean, they must have been running.
I said they were. They were Jem'Hadar.
Okay, well then, yes, they're actually destroying people. This is not... They're actually making Jem'Hadar disappear.
Okay. What are you going to do? Are you going to take care of the cult then, or?
Well, us three personally, we're going to go tell the people who can
No.
who can go do that.
Says, well, that was a part of your mission. You were supposed to handle the cult. So is the ship going to be sending down multiple?
I don't.
Uh-huh.
That's up to the superiors of the
Yeah.
ship. I mean, we have to tell them.
Our mission was just to make sure, mostly about that there wasn't any Dominion presence. That's really what our priority was. So
Yeah, and apparently the Dominion are being turned into hydrogen. So our primary mission has been achieved. There isn't a Dominion presence on this planet. There is, however, an energy being that we are.
I
so
hate to ruin the party, as it were, but new life, new civilizations, and all that jazz. I think maybe we gotta look into it.
Okay, yes, but we have an entire ship that we should probably inform first,
the
and not
people
get.
who are assigned to do that,
Yeah,
this isn't our job.
I am an anthropologist. I'm an archaeologist. I do cultural and religious studies. I've done everything I can here. I am not an exorcist. I don't have get Picard. Picard has some
Damn
experience
it.
with this. We can.
Damn it, Jim! I'm an anthropologist, not a doctor.
She looks
I
a
hope-
little.
4 doctorates. Pick one.
She looks a little bit disappointed. She says, "Okay, then you'll be leaving."
Well, I mean, yeah, probably.
We just once we make sure that you guys don't get blown away by the storm.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that you knew how bad the storm was.
Okay. She says, "Okay, well, I will let people know. We do have some storm shelters."
I feel like we're missing something here.
So she nods her head and she says, "Do you wish to help spread the word then, or?"
Do
you
you
want
don't
to-
have any
do you
kind
want
of
to-
intercom or anything?
I do. Do you just want to sit here and let me do all the work and then say you helped with the storm? Is that what you're asking, or what exactly do you want out of this conversation now that you've advised me of everything?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I mean, we didn't build a colony, so we weren't in charge of not putting up a weather siren or whatever. But sure, we'll go knock house to house
Yeah.
like it's the Middle Ages and tell these people that there is a storm coming. Okay. No, that's fine. Latrem proceeds to walk in some direction. Like, okay, I will go knock on random doors. Here I go.
Okay, so she says, well, obviously we do have a communication system, but if you would like to, sometime most of the colonists are used to the drizzles that happen. So if anyone's out there, we would appreciate you assisting what little security forces we have, letting them know that there's a storm coming.
Can do, sure. Let's yeah.
What is the protection from the storm that you're using? Is it a force field of some kind?
We have shelters. We have a few force fields, but nothing major. This is just a small colony that people visit. We're not like the Costa Concordia.
God damn it. Yes,
Well,
because the
that's-
Costa Concordia is very
Very
much safer
reliable.
during a storm. Very
was just-
reliable.
I was just thinking that should the force fields go down during the storm, then, we might be able to reroute some power from the shuttle.
Sure.
Okay.
So she hits a little button and sends out a communication. Interestingly, as she kind of said, a lot of people are not going inside, even though the emergency beacon has been lit. You find that most of them think that this is going to be a big deal. In fact, there are a couple of people who are excited that this may, in fact, be a test from God. And as you're talking and stuff, the storm begins to get worse and worse. You're actually starting to see lightning and things. People are beginning to be more and more convinced that maybe this isn't what they thought it was going to be, and are starting to boarding themselves up. But there are also a few stragglers. The wind is getting pretty heavy, and rain is starting to come down.
The shuttle can just use its gravity plating to anchor itself directly to the ground. Well, if there are stragglers, we should probably
should
go
help
and try
them.
and help them. Yeah, I guess. It's
We-
not
no,
like
we
we
just-
have it's not like we have important message from nay indestructible energy being that they want to bring to the whole of the galaxy. Let's go help the people who don't understand that storms are bad. Let's go do this.
All right, so give me
Isn't
an
this
insight.
place supposed to make you feel good?
Give me an insight plus security. I don't feel good anymore. Where's the good?
Me? Am I rolling insight plus security?
Yeah, if you're looking for stragglers.
All right, yeah. Let me just double check. I've got a 10 in insight, and I think that's a 3 in security.
You guys can look too if you want to.
Because again, it's being cut off. Is
Yeah.
that a 3?
Let me see.
I think that's a 3. So it's like a 13. And a 1.
Security's 3, yeah. And then Venom, I'm doing it for you, right?
Yeah, 14.
14.
I rolled an 11 and a 12.
Okay. Got a 1 and a 19. So you see, what'd you get, Jay? You're muted, buddy.
Jay, you're still muted.
What am I rolling here? 1 or 2?
Two, well, you're always rolling 2. It's 2d20. Always 2.
That's what I thought.
Insight plus security.
Insight is 9 and security is 1.
So 10.
Yeah.
So roll 2d20.
14 and 16.
Okay.
That's
So
not great.
Jay, you don't see anyone. One person that you do note that you can motion to each other. As it starts getting really, really bad, you actually see a Klingon who is atop of a tower. It's not like a huge tower. Like you can you can. There's a ladder that leads up to it. You can actually yell back and forth to each other. But he's on a tower and he has his chest out, just staring at the storm itself.
Okay, well, he's probably fine. That's what they do normally.
Yeah.
Working as
Normal.
intended. Okay.
Okay, but I will roll my anthropology cultural studies to see if there is any significance to this act that the Klingon is taking.
Okay. Well, that would be an insight plus science.
All right, so that's a 10 plus 4, so it's a 14. Well, fuck. All right, well, I rolled a 20. And a 6.
Based on what you can see, it looks like he, it's actually kind of worrying from what you can tell. It would appear that he is going against everything his religion stands for. You actually think he may be dishonoring his family. And that would be something that, as a anthropologist, you'd probably want to stop.
By thrusting his chest out to a storm, he is dishonoring his family.
Yeah, don't roll 20s and I won't tell you stupid stuff like that.
Hey, that Klingon down there is probably doing something very stupid. We should probably go help him in case lightning strikes him and we get deep-fried Klingon for lunch.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Maybe I can sneak up on him and give him the old nerf
I was
pinch,
about
and
to
then
say,
we
yeah.
can carry him back.
You first.
Give him the old, he goes, and then we, drag him out, yes.
That sounds like nothing but good ideas. That's exactly right. So you're going to try to distract him?
No,
Well, I mean, he seems pretty.
He seems pretty
Focused on the-
distracted by
on
the
the storm.
storm. Yeah.
Sure,
just-
but so I'm sorry. So he's on the tower, right? And the tower is looking off. You have the things you climb up, the ladder that you're trying to climb up. So do you just want to try to climb up it stealthily? You don't want to get his attention or anything?
I would say stop the shuttle directly next to him, given that it's a flying vehicle, and just look outside the door and say, hey, there's a storm happening, and just see what he does.
That might be a better idea.
All right, who's flying it?
Well, obviously, it's
Shavik, yeah,
Shavik.
I'll do it. I'll fly the shuttle in a storm.
Shazam
It'll go
will fly
fine.
the shuttle.
So
I'll fly the
I just-
Hindenburg in a
control,
storm.
control
just wanna-
plus con.
Just want to say again, I'm an engineer.
9, 10, 11,
You know,
12.
for the
That's
record.
12.
Okay, well,
I'll roll that for you.
I am a anthropologist. Does that mean I am a warp field specialist? No, I mean, there are different branches of science. I mean, I can take apart this phaser, too, but that doesn't mean I know how to fly a phaser. God damn it.
There's the anthropologist.
So, oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
What's gonna
What
happen?
do we do?
Nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. All right, so you got a 20 and a 15.
Didn't do anything wrong. You got a
gotta-
20 and a 15.
We open up the door, and somehow us opening up the door bisects the Klingon, and its two halves fall off the tower. And we accidentally summon the demon through blood sacrifice.
So you
Responsible
take
for the
off.
end of the universe.
So who's on the shuttle with you? Nobody? After I said what the actual numbers were? Or is anybody on the shuttle with you?
I mean,
Heck with it. I'm on the shuttle with him.
yeah, Let's Rem is,
Gotta have a co-pilot.
Yeah.
All right. So the shuttle takes
I
off.
thought you'd be the ship idiot.
So the shuttle takes off, and you guys are making your way over towards the tower, and the storm is just getting worse and worse as the Klingon bursts his breasts, his thing.
Kalis!
All of a sudden, a lightning spark comes down and nails the shuttle itself. It starts wiggling. You start losing control. You can actually, what sounds like almost like clawing after it gets hit. The
There's something
Klingon,
on the wing of the shuttle.
the The Klingon looks up and he sees. He's looking at the shuttle, but it looks like he's looking above it or something like that. And he grins and smiles and takes out his dagger.
Mechleth, I think that's what
Yeah,
they call.
Mechleth. And he does some stupid stuff.
Well, why not describe the stupid
What
stuff?
stupid
Don't just
stuff?
stop there. Let's do it.
Klingon.
There's a lot of stupid
Hey.
stuff you
Well,
can
I'm
do.
telling
You can
you-
do. You can do the old knife and the table trick.
No, I'm telling you what he's-
Klingon doing something stupid with a weapon is totally unbelievable.
he backs up like to the edge behind him and then runs forward towards you and makes a flying jump to hit the looks like he's trying to attack the shuttle. The shuttle
Metleth.
itself, the Hindenburg, continues to shake, and he attacks with his Metleth. He actually lands above it, and then you can hear what sounds like a scuffle, and all of a sudden you see him fall and tumble down the opposite side. The insides of the shuttle begin to give major alerts, and you can hear something just ripping open the top of the shuttle itself, though it's only doing like an inch or so. It hasn't gotten inside yet, and the shuttle begins to actually start going down and crashing.
Okay,
as you lose
land
control.
the shuttle,
let's-
land the
let's-
shuttle.
Crash. We'll crash land this at this
I
point.
don't want to think about the irony of the Hindenburg being gone down by lightning.
So, you, this did not go the way I thought it would go. Control and con, again, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12. Hopefully you don't roll a 20 again. That would be bad.
9 and command.
We're naming our next shuttle the plot armor.
Wait a minute. I have a 13 if we do the control and command for the Khajiit and the
Unfortunately, the Khajiit is not the one that's currently and piloting. You can attempt an assist if you want to. He failed both of his.
Can I use a momentum to attempt assist?
You don't need a momentum. But
Can
you
I attempt assist?
You can. Yeah. Roll a d20.
Okay, I am going to attempt assist here. All right, I rolled a 1
Okay.
and I rolled a 13.
So the 1 is what counts. So the two,
Okay.
the success and the major. So it starts going down. It looks like it's actually going to slam into one of the bunkers where the kids were kept. Actually, the little orphans of the colony.
Oh, for fuck's sake! And it'll crash into the widows and orphans.
We have to stop. We're about to land. We're about to crash into where the colony keeps all of its orphans and dynamite.
And the puppy store.
And the puppies and the kittens.
Right next to the quantum torpedoes that would level the entire place.
Right next to its nuclear stockpile.
So at
And
the
all of
last,
its flammable stuff. And its vast knife collection. Oh no! It's
the
also
last
next to
minute-
the little old lady colony. Oh my god!
she's the heart of the colony. Everyone looks to her. Oh. So,
Village rat.
so wait, you duck out at the last moment
And hit the nursing home.
and hit the nursing home. That's right next to the Romulan diplomats that wanted to join against the Dominion. But
just
with
took
their dad.
I mean,
Christmas tree.
they were in their twilight years anyway.
That's where the yarmulke was. Anyway, no, you missed.
Yarmulke. You mean the hat? Wait, the yarmulke?
It was the yarmulke stockpile. They had a lot of them. It was very important to the colony.
Wait, that would be a good thing. That's like a cushion.
But they wanted to wear them. It's going to destroy their morale. Anyway,
Get them.
Have you ever
replicate
worn a
them all.
yarmulke? A
Hell with
yarmulke is
'em.
like it's like a piece of fabric. It doesn't even really have a. I mean, they can take a lot, is what I'm saying. I've worn a yarmulke.
Hey,
so it
we can
bounces-
make things out of thin air. We'll give them more
We'll
yarmulkes.
make them new
Yeah.
ones. It's fine.
Anyway, it dodges out of the way. It actually just hits a empty house along with a wall, completely like shattering it. But you guys are fine. Hindenburg, not so much.
We hit the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln that they had transported here as a museum piece. They were going to give it back to Earth, and we just trashed it.
Unfortunately, you can see out the window the Klingon. He didn't do as well. His neck is not supposed to be bent that way.
Is he okay?
Is he dead?
He's gonna be fine. Yeah, he's a go-getter. He's gonna walk this one off. He'll be fine. He's not gonna be fine. He's dead.
Just get some paracetamol. It'll be all right.
We should probably go check and see if he's okay. He's okay.
You just say that with the wreck. There's stuff crumbling around you. The Hindenburg. Just in the background, we should probably go check.
The Klingon's a red smear on the ground. Like, do you think he is okay?
At least he died fighting something.
That's
gravity.
That would make.
That's a lot of paperwork.
At least he died fighting gravity.
That's a lot of paperwork. Is what I'm trying to say.
He stabbed the shuttle. I think that he died a hero, at least according to the Klingons.
He died a hero.
A glorious death for the Empire.
My shuttle.
As you're looking out, all of a sudden there's flame and torment, and you actually see rocks and stuff starting to come down and hit various things, and what looks like angels are appearing.
Well,
demonic forces are actually beginning to battle each other. As they hit each other, one disappears. Jay, in your character's mind, you hear, what was it? The top of the mountain.
The top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the mountain. Don't make me Google Vulcan Mountain now.
Now,
Solea.
so let me remind you guys, you're Starfleet officers. So if Starfleet officers encountered this, how do you think they'd react?
Squint at it, hold their phasers like this, wait for the music sting to end so they go to commercial.
Yeah,
and then fix it on
go
the
to
backside.
commercial.
And whip out a tricorder and start beeping and booping Christmas lights at it.
Okay, you want to use a tricorder?
Reverse its polarity.
Yeah, I want to reverse its polarity with my tricorder.
All right, use science plus. I'm sorry. It would be insight plus science.
Can I help with my insight plus science?
You can. You all can pull out tricorders.
Yeah.
Insight is 9, science is 4.
My insight is 10 and my science is 4.
So under 13, Jay. Under 14. And what's yours, Venom?
Insight 10, science is 1.
So 11.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I will roll. I rolled a 1.
Okay.
And you see my hands. I rolled a 1.
You're rolling 1 a lot. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? Here, I can show you.
Hey, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Leave my one rolling man alone.
Okay, leave him alone. All right, then I'll roll again.
No, it's fine. I trust you. What's
And
the
I
number?
rolled a 7.
Okay. So you can see that the energy displacement is actually coming from a call it a mountain. It's pretty high. It'd be a steep climb, but you could make it. And you can see actually a beam of light coming from that area. As you guys are scanning, the doors all of a sudden are open, are being pried open. You see the governor there with a couple of other people. She says, "Are you all right?"
There's demons outside.
Yeah.
You see this, right? We are not hallucinating, right?
Something ripped, great chunks out of my shuttle. Can
gentlemen,
I make an
we need
insurance
to-
claim?
we need to make our way to the top of the mountain, gentlemen.
She looks confused. She says insurance, but then she's like, "Yes, we see the demons as well. We're trying to hold them off." And then you say you need to make your way to the mountain.
No,
Is
we
this a
don't.
mountain?
We need to go to a shelter and wait for the storm to be over, you Vulcan. It is illogical to go to a mountain right now.
That is the source of the energy.
I mean,
top
it sounds
of the
like
mountain.
he's going. So, you can take shelter, but I'm gonna go with him, make sure he doesn't get killed.
I'll be darned if a Vulcan is going to climb a mountain and I can't outdo him. I'll be darned if I let anybody.
Well, I did go with him to crash the Hindenburg, so
Can't wait till we have to go to explain this at the Costa Concordia.
oh, you think that's going to be there when we get back? That's an interesting theory.
Oh no, but it'll be there. It'll just be on its side.
Yeah, it's like, so you got the admiral, and he's like, he's touching the bridge of his nose. He's like, so, just to begin with, a Klingon attacked your shuttle right as a
Stabbed it.
lightning bolt hit it.
Glorious
and then,
death.
And then you almost
Glorious.
hit an orphanage that was next to a nuclear stockpile, but missed that and destroyed Lincoln's home. Is what I'm here. Is that the events?
That sounds.
Well, we'll
that
be
sounds right,
explaining
sir.
it to the Admiral as he stands on some asteroids next to the Costa Concordia.
Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, we managed to save the yarmulkes, and it's like, well, Admiral something other Stein understands. He thinks she did a good job.
So, she, the governor looks confused, and she says, "If you're going to do that, then you at least need to. It's one of the sacred spots. You'll have to go as a pilgrimage to it."
In the middle of this reenactment of biblical Armageddon. Yes, that sounds like a great idea.
She shakes her head. She says it's one of the most sacred. Of course, I understand where you're coming from, but you shouldn't. You can't.
What?
You'll need to be dressed in beige and brown with no technology.
No technology. No tech. Oh my god.
This feels like I'm talking. This feels like I'm talking to an Oblivion NPC. There's like all this shit going on. There's like demons fighting angels, and they're just like, if you want to go up to the mountain, you'll have to change your clothing. There's like people getting exploded. It's like, have you heard of the High Elves?
I mean, she's not that calm. She understands it's insane, but she's telling you.
Who the f- cares what you have to be wearing? They are not like Litrem is like pointing at the demons fighting directly overhead. Like, you're seeing this shit, right? You want to?
What are the chances that we could sneak a phaser on this pilgrimage?
She
'Cause I think we'll
motions
need
and
one.
she's like, she motions and she says, "You see, there's obviously something to here. There's something to the cult. God must exist in some form. Do you want to piss him off when you get there?"
Ideally, yes.
I mean, I feel like he's already pissed off.
How about we go to the mountain when we have the firepower of the Titanic? Oh wait, no, that's a terrible idea.
Are we sure the Titanic's even still up there? I mean,
All
what
of a
with
sudden-
like, you
all of
know,
a sudden in
the
the-
apocalypse happening?
As you're talking in the background, you just see a huge explosion in orbit.
Well, that sucks. I was going to suggest that we transport back up there and nuke the mountain from space, but oh well.
Quantum torpedoes from orbit. It's the only way.
That actually probably is a really good idea, though.
That probably is a really good idea to just blow this whole planet up.
So what are you guys doing?
I don't know, like, I'm just thinking, like, in like real world context, I'm imagining a scientist talking to someone else as like actual mortars just explode all around and like, oh yes, to go to that temple, you'll need to.
She's not being calm about it. She's telling you what she thinks you'll have to do.
I know.
Because I mean,
How about we
the
just-
religion to this point has proven apparently to be real. There's literally angels fighting each other and Klingons jumping off of towers to attack shuttles. I mean, shit has gotten pretty dire.
Klingons and Romulans living together. Mass hysteria.
It's apocalypse.
So, like, the way I see it, I mean, we got, like, two choices, right? We can take off our shoes, apparently, and go up this mountain.
I have pop pads, so it's fine.
Dress in browns and beige.
or we can go back to the ship and shoot the top of the mountain with a torpedo and see what happens. Either way, there's energy coming from the top of that mountain and it needs to stop.
There's energy. There's oil on top of that mountain. Gotta go get it.
Imagine explaining that to the captain too. It's like, all right, sir, there are okay. So we had a Klingon who tried to attack our shuttle, but that's not the most important part. You see, what happens is there are literally angels and demons fighting in the middle of this apocalypse that's happening.
No, sir. No, sir.
People are being flung. So we need to
get
shoot
past Abraham Lincoln's cabin.
we need to
get to the point here.
But yeah, the point is we need to shoot a quantum torpedo at the colony. Hopefully not leveling the colony, but taking out the mountain.
Oh, I tell you what, Shazam, if you really feel like you need to go... Wait, Saren. If you really feel like you need to go to the top of this mountain because there's energy, I am not going to stop you. But I will advise that perhaps it would be a good idea to perhaps wait for the storm to be over before we set out on this pilgrimage. And maybe we should alert our superiors before we go out on this pilgrimage, since whatever it is that they sent us to do isn't going to take 3 days.
I understand. My only concern with that is that once we give their message back to the ship, is whatever this god, is it going to be done with us once we've done what it told us to do?
What exactly is the message that we want to send?
Everyone needs to unite under one religion and serve this god, apparently. That is the message it wanted us to send.
Well, let me just counterpoint. Let's just think about this logically. Is that a terribly complicated message to send?
No, it is
fighting,
okay,
not.
so
the storm is getting worse and worse. It's
oh
actually-
god!
How about we just
The angels are actually starting to lose. The demons are taking over. Structures are falling.
blast the message? Like, just send the message. Send the message.
Fuck it, Ed, get your phasers ready. Start shooting demons. If we're going to take a side, let's take a side with the thing that can't obliterate people, or whatever. He's not a very happy cat right now.
Nothing about this planet pleases Khajiit.
Nothing about this planet is very pleasant to Khajiit.
So you guys are actually going to stay and fight?
I thought we were going to try and communicate, send a message up to the ship.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
With the shuttle.
The one
Yeah.
that crash landed and system.
Well, yeah,
or
but the transmitter's still working, right?
Oh,
I mean,
I
also,
don't know. Or you want to check?
Or
to see
a
if-
communicator.
yeah.
We have communicators, don't we?
We have those little comm badges that do
Okay.
everything.
So you go to hit it. It's like,
Okay. So there might be so surely there's a long range transmitter in the shuttle.
that's just it for Weasel's character. He's just like, it doesn't work. He keeps hitting. All of a sudden, he just starts destroying stuff.
Just starts just like scratching at things and hissing.
You can check to see if there's a long range communication, or see if it's active. That would be a control plus engineering.
Control plus engineering. So that is going to be
11.
9 and yeah.
9 and what is your engineering?
11.
Engineering's 2.
Okay,
It's
so
11.
it's one higher than me.
You have one success. It's completely busted.
Oh god. Okay. Does the colony have any kind
wanna
of
ask her?
communication? Does your colony have any kind of communication equipment?
She motions to the tower that was taken out when you guys crashed. She says that was our
Oh, why was the Klingon up there? Okay, fine. Then I guess let's. I really feel like we should get underground.
She says we have a few bunkers, so she motions. She's like, "Come with us."
Okay, unanimous group. What are we doing?
Yeah, let's get underground.
All right, underground it is then.
We can go to the mountain with the beacon in the morning.
So you get
If there's
underground.
still a planet here in the morning.
You get underground. Get most of the colonists underground. It starts shaking really heavily, really hard, and
I found the nuclear stockpile.
oh no, the orphanage.
Oh no, the orphanage!
That's,
Every colony has a supply of at least 100 orphans that it keeps in its orphanage.
you can you hear buildings crushing. After about an hour, you hear in your heads, to stop this. Everybody hears, to stop this, you must come to the mountain.
Oh god damn it.
I told you. I tried to tell you.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to turn to the mayor of the colony and I'm going to say, oh, but don't worry, it's a little drizzle. It won't be anything. Fine, let's go to the mountain.
Are you gonna dress in beige with no footwear and technology?
Well, like I said, I have paw pads, so no footwear is not a big deal for me, but these are, like, soft
Well,
little...
My concern is that I feel like we're probably going to need the energy weapons when we get there.
what if
Yeah.
we could have a string and some rocks, make a slingshot.
Or I guess, when we get up there and find whatever's controlling this, we can just, logic it into blowing itself up.
Or
That usually works
verbally-
in Star Trek.
Or
Yeah.
verbally abuse it into blowing up. Yeah. Hurl insults at it.
Captain Kirk
Lower
style.
lower its self-esteem. What does God need with a starship?
You're an ugly god and you smell like farts.
Aw. Just sad. All right, so how are you guys going up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
No, but how? I mean, are
Okay,
you going?
How we are going
I'm
to?
in
We're
the-
going. I'm gonna take my uniform and I'm going to rub it in the dirt so it's sufficiently beige. I'm going to roll around in the dirt.
I was about to say I've got a security uniform, so that's like yellowish already.
And you're a Vulcan.
I'm going to tell him to stuff it and put my phaser on my hip and try to go anyway.
Okay. So as you guys,
What are they going to do?
as you guys start making your way up there, it's not a bad trek. As you come back up, you see that the colony itself has, for all intents and purposes, been completely destroyed.
Not the
the
orphans.
the buildings are on fire. There's rubble. Different.
They got the
sacraments.
yarmulkes.
The different sacraments. There's a yarmulke that's just flying around.
And I
And,
make sure to yell down the mountain, but don't worry, it's a little drizzle. It won't do anything. It's fine. The storms happen all the time, right?
In the air, you can still see lightning and fire, and there's still looks like war and fighting each other, but they're not on the ground anymore. Then you make your way up the mountain. The more you get up the mountain, the clearer up the actual skies are. You can actually begin to see the sun and such. Comm badges still don't work. As you make it all the way to the top, where you were before, you actually see the some of the cult of purity that had been there. They'd actually stayed out in the storm and unfortunately didn't make it. As you continue on, you actually can feel a presence. You're actually consumed, filled with this type of energy that you'd had before. And inside all of your heads, you can hear, has this tragedy, through this tragedy, have you been able to decide what religion will be followed?
Nation does not enjoy having something in its head.
Okay.
This is terrible. I mean, it's awful. It looks like Armageddon happened down there.
He said, I wish it could have been, or the presence says, I wish it could have been prevented, but unfortunately, there had been no consensus and the demons had arrived.
There will never be consensus.
Without consensus, it's hard for me to understand how humanoids work. I can't continue to be your god if you do not have consensus.
Well,
Wait
maybe
a minute. I thought you were just a messenger.
No, this is a different form. It's
Oh,
actually
okay.
in your heads. It's not the...
I want to pull out my tricorder.
Okay.
I want to scan for the source of whatever this energy is.
I'm just going to give it to you because we're running late for Venom. It's from the energy, again, is coming from the planet itself, from the core. And it's actually severely drained at this point.
Well, there's never going to be consensus. You're never going to be able to
You're never
convince
gonna-
every single person in the entire universe to worship you.
He says,
And you don't
says expand.
you don't have the energy to even go outside the orbit of one planet.
It says, explain how there will be no consensus.
Because
It
people are
specifically ignores
complicated.
you for the second, Jay, just so you know. Goes out of its way to ignore you. Explain how there's no consensus. Go ahead, Venom, I'm sorry.
because people are complicated. People are individuals. People grow up with very different beliefs and attitudes and have very different life experiences. And it leads them down very different paths. And they make very different decisions. And it's not really possible to get every single person in the universe to see eye to eye.
Unless
You're
you're the
never
Borg.
Unless you're the Borg, in which
What
case
is the
it's
Borg?
terrible. Don't worry about it. Don't
Can
worry
the Borg
about that.
bring consensus?
No,
They
you
have been-
cannot.
They've been
No.
trying for hundreds of years, thousands
Shut-
of years.
shut up,
apparently.
shut up,
They haven't been able to
Shut
do
up,
it.
you
Shit, the
can
Borg
shut
haven't
up.
been able to do it.
giving it
It
ideas.
seems to me. It
I'm fulfilling
seems
Michael
to me.
Palin's role in every Monty Python movie.
It seems to me that there must be more looked into the Borg.
Fuck me.
You know, maybe
The Borg
you
are
know,
a fairy
yeah,
tale.
Maybe you know, go off in your own time and research research the Borg, and you know, get a balanced opinion, get a balanced view, hear it from all sides. Maybe talk to other high omnipotent beings like the Q. Maybe ask them their thoughts, their
Oh.
opinions. They might have some things to say.
Or better
know.
yet, don't listen to anybody and then just go find the Borg because they exist outside of our galaxy. Yeah, way the far outside of our own galaxy. Very, very far away.
Perhaps things must be altered in order to better understand the Borg.
No, things must not be altered. They're
I
very,
don't
very
think
far away.
After a few
don't-
moments, all of a sudden you feel like a pulse that starts generating, and then it's something physical that you can see that actually it explodes, but it's not like something that'll kill you. It knocks everyone down and starts. It expands from where you are, starting all the way around the planet, and you can see it just enveloping the entirety of the landscape. As you watch, you guys are knocked down, but you can get up and you see the ripples starting to happen. It comes towards the colony and actually just owns the colony itself. It explodes. What other remnants are there are just completely gone. And then after a few minutes, it's quiet and peaceful and serene. The angels are gone, and the storm is as well.
We used up the last of its power trying to think about the Borg.
Damn it, Shevik, why'd you have to tell them about the Borg? We were all right there, and you
I
were
didn't
like,
tell.
what about the
I
Borg?
wasn't the one.
You were like,
Well,
oh, what
tell
about
them.
the Borg? And we were like, oh, no, don't tell them anything about the
Can
Borg.
I
And you were
check
like,
my-
Oh, but I gotta tell them about the Borg, yes.
Can I check my
told them.
tricorder to see if anybody on this rock is left alive?
Yeah, that's the point.
The denizens that are left, you can actually still see. They're under the bunker.
Okay,
Klingon is still alive.
sure.
The Klingon, he's gone, bud. He's gone.
But like all the buildings, all gone.
Yeah, the Hindenburg is just nothing but pieces.
I want to yell back down toward the people.
It's like
God is dead, and we have killed him.
the one thing you do see on the scannings, though, is all of the energy. You're right; it's all gone. It's completely done. You hear one of your comm badges come up. You doo.
If only you'd listened to the Vulcan.
Okay, so you hit
Just
it.
checking to see if that's my comm badge.
It is. Yeah. So do you hit it?
Yes.
Do you say anything with it or not really?
Latrem.
It's like, Latrim, this is This is Commander Wild. How's everything going down there?
It's fine. Everyone's fine down here. How are you?
Oh, God.
He says
No problem.
we detected the explosion and we can see that the colony, something hit the colony. Are you all right?
We're fine.
Okay. All right. He says we're sending down more shuttles and we'll help as much as we can. Unfortunately, it's only one ship, so we'll be limited.
That's not great, but all right. That's a good idea.
He says, "All right." He says, "We'll send out an emergency to see if we can get another ship here to assist us."
Okay.
What about the fontaine?
Do you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, what about the fontaine?
Yeah, what about the fontaine?
There's a pause. He says, "Fontaine." What are you talking about?
The other ship that was with us.
There was only one ship on this mission.
The fontaine was an energy creation. Holy crap!
No,
it was an Akira class.
we've been blasted to another universe, haven't we? We're in a parallel dimension.
That's a very harsh thing to think about. Maybe they just forgot. They forgot there was such a ship next to it.
It's like, let's not freak out. Maybe it's still there. They just didn't think about it
Maybe it's been renamed.
in the past. In the past 4 hours.
In the past 4 hours, they got renamed. They got renamed to Defiant 2.
Okay, so do you guys say anything else, or is that about it?
Okay, we have to get our stories straight before we can, right? Don't say anything about telling the energy being about the Borg.
Yeah,
That didn't happen.
We'll just say it was the Sulaban. Like
It was the Sulaban and the Temporal Cold War,
Yeah.
and they were doing things to the planet.
Yeah,
There was a helix in the core.
shadow guy from the future.
Archer from the future.
Logic dictates that this is the time to lie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So, with the Titanic begins sending down. It'll take about another 4 days to a week to help them get a temporary
Gets me every
structures
time.
back up. The phenomena itself seems to have emanated from the planet, but unfortunately, without more information, there's not a lot that Starfleet can do. They're going to send out another science ship. You guys have been pulled back. Luckily, even with the death and such, this has been looked at as a test. Most religions see it as a test of the faith that has come through.
Good for them.
Tested them right into the grave.
Yeah.
Anyone
Great
who looks to search for the USS Fontaine will find it's actually on the Klingon border, assisting with tensions that have been always consistently rising there. And
Wait, what?
the Titanic is now on its way back to the coast of Concordia. If you guys want to have any more information given at this point, we can, but that's the ending
I do.
point. Okay.
I know exactly what. Okay, I want to search the database for the Borg.
As far as you can tell, the events haven't been skewed yet. They
Okay, all right. So Wolf
Yet?
359
What
still
do you mean
have it.
yet? He said yet.
Wolf 359
Yeah.
still occurs. Yeah.
All right, so
Um,
we're not in too divergent of a timeline. Yes.
Do we see any indication that we're actually in a different timeline?
Do you have any specific questions? Because I'm not.
Like, are the uniforms different? Are the com badges different? Are
No,
different
nothing like
people-
that you can tell.
Are we
Yes,
doing weird salutes?
So you put it starts out with your fist
Nobody
on your
had
heart.
a Hitler mustache.
You put the
nothing
fist
like
on your
that?
heart, and then you go out and you're karate chopping the air. So I mean,
Oh,
just,
conspicuous goatees.
I tell you what, give me an insight plus. Give me an insight plus. Science is what we'll go with. Damn, I use that a lot.
All right, 14. All right, I'll roll. All right, that's a 2. 13.
Anyone else wants to roll?
Yeah, I'll roll. Well, we need insight and...
Science.
All right, 9 and 4.
All right, and when you roll, do you get it? And what do you have, Venom?
I've got 10 and 1, so 11.
So it's 11. Okay. So you guys get enough success.
Three.
The one major thing I'll give you is it
Got
does
2 3s.
the
Sorry.
the Khitomer Accords, which is the ultimate peace that came between the Federation and the Klingons, created a strong alliance. Doesn't appear to have happened.
Oh, okay.
Had to sit the Borg. Had to talk about the Borg.
Yeah, Shevik, why'd you bring up the Borg? Why'd you bring up the Borg, Shevik? You were like, oh, what about the Borg?
All
He
right.
was like, there's no way to make consensus. You were like, unless you're Borg.
So that's where we're going to end it, guys. We'll be doing this every Saturday at 5 p.m. Central Standard. Probably going for 2 or 3 hours. Don't forget to check out Fancy Teeth, Cute Fuzzy Weasel, as well as Venom Geek, who has an awesome Dominion War story that you guys need to check out. And we'll see you guys on the next Lore Reloaded.
I.
On that.
See ya.
All right. Hey,
Bye.
guys.